It's that time of the week again. TCP time, episode number 215. We didn't get to do this on Tuesday, the 22nd of the 2nd of 2022 at 22:22, which is 22 past 10 p.m. Which is the time that Yiska wanted to do this show originally at, but we all couldn't. We discovered that through the magic of time zones, that if it was 22:22 time-wise for Yiska, it wouldn't be that for Joe and I, so it didn't line up. And when it got to Joe and I's turn to be at 22:22, it wasn't for everyone else. So unless we did this on LAN, it wasn't going to work.
It's fine.
So,
we're just going to survive until the 11th of November in 2111.
Actually, do you know something? Here's a funny thing. If the Earth actually was flat, there would be no time zones. We'd all be on the same time zone. Because the time of day would be the same for everyone, wouldn't it?
Doesn't it still depend on the angle?
Oh, no, it depends on what you believe in terms of Earth. Because I don't know that they're all completely decided on how the Earth on the sun moves. Because some of them think the sun still does a lap of the Earth, but on the solid plane, whereas some people still might believe that the sun goes around and it comes up and down. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I'm explaining this properly.
No, it is constantly impressive how much, the gymnastics. I don't even know if it's fair to call it mental gymnastics, but like how much just physics work.
Just call it mental illness. We can stop there.
Yeah, I mean, sort of in ways.
When you do enough mental gymnastics and you injure yourself and get hurt, it turns into an illness. At that point, you have mentally injured yourself. You're mentally injured, is what I call that.
True.
I like to mentally injure myself, thinking about when we might get Overwatch 2 and various times of my existence. Soon, hopefully. But, before we get too deep on other things, we haven't talked about something for a while now, which is the good old attack arena on the Tide arena. And I'm gonna let Yiska take this one because Yiska's got more. He's the guy that doesn't know things about the show. I mean, he's learning. He's watching the show. We did warn that the next 2 episodes, being like that's 2 episodes ago from now, that it was going to be pretty slow. I think maybe the next one might be slow as well. How'd you find it, Yiska? How have the last 2 episodes been?
I think it would have probably been possible to just squeeze this into 1 episode because it feels like there's a lot of Titan fights that I really don't care for. Like, just fucking dispose of them and whatever, right? So that is weird. It's also like, I don't know. Like, there is a bit of storytelling that just feels like so different from the rest of AOT. It's like, okay, so hey, here's Annie. So okay. In the context, AOT is like, okay, let's refer back to an episode like 3 seasons ago and increase the relevance of that. Now Annie comes in and her entire life story is told.
Oh, spoilers, by the way, just in case people haven't.
Right.
Well, I probably should have said that, but go on.
I mean,
continue.
Okay, that's if you feel spoiled by realizing that Annie is back, whatever. So. And then you introduce the entire life story. Basically, tell her she's like Attack on Titan Batman, realistically, right? And you then introduce her father, and then the dude gets shot. Pow pow, like.
Well, does he? We don't know.
Yeah, to be fair, we don't know. And even if you like, it would be weird, even if it happened. But like, how much care should I have for that at that point when the scale is that everything usually is connected for maximum significance and everything else? Like, I don't care that much about that dude's destiny in the grand scheme of things. Right.
You know what this is? This is like an Attack on Titan short story that you read and catch up on outside of the main thing.
Why do you have to do that while I'm still awaiting how they're going to resolve a rumbling?
It feels like a featurette you get on the bonus features of a DVD. Like,
right.
Oh, let's take a look at the Annie interview on the bonus features DVD. Like, developer commentary. You know, that's what that is. You're getting the side quest. I explained it to you as like, yeah, so they're gonna go on side quests for about 3 episodes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they're doing right now.
And it's like, it's so weird how it's paced as well. I almost missed like the last 5 seconds of the last episode because I usually just don't watch that part of animes, right? Like it's usually like the garbage, like cutesy drawing style thing. And there it's like the huge reveal. I would have been so weirded out next episode if I didn't catch that in the end. So like, I don't know. It's definitely a little bit weird, especially after this huge climax to like really slow it down so much. Meanwhile, it's like this other dude is pulling like a Jeff Bezos wanting to feed children to his family in order to elongate their lifetime or like get them back. It's like
some dude, it's Connie. We love Connie.
No, I don't care for him. Nah, I have no care for him. He doesn't have Titan powers. Why would I care about that idiot? I don't care.
By the way, how are they going to catch up to? I mean, I know I'm speaking rhetorically. Yeah. How are they meant to catch up to him? It's like the next day, and they're like, "Yeah, might as well suit up and horse up and try and catch up to Connie." And I was like, "Bro, that guy probably already killed Falco by then." Like, theoretically, they're so far behind.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, I mean, I know what's gonna happen, but it just feels weird that they're all just like, yeah, we should probably catch up to Connie, and they're just so slow about it. And then eventually start, and then you see this guy, he's already like halfway there, and it's just like, bro, this is a bit of a time-sensitive mission, fellas.
Yeah.
I know it's a side quest, but shit, this is one of those side quests. Like, you gotta get this done within the next in-game day, or we're out of here.
Armin's having a full-on existential crisis with the death of Erwin and trying to process that, and some tender moments. Like, yeah, bro, like there's some important shit going on. You might want to hut too.
I also think it's kind of weird that he really wants to feed this kid to his mom. Just like make a deal with Armin. Like, motherfucker is going to die in 7 years anyway, right? So just go. Your mom can chill for like 2 more years, and I'm just going to become food for her after that. Like, just leave the kid be, man. He's at the start of his Titan fucking timer anyway, so
I'll figure it out.
It's Titan timer.
Here's the most selfless thing you could ever do: is you receive a Titan from somebody, and then you feed yourself to your mom.
Yeah?
Right. Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know.
Have some skin in the game, Connie. That's what I'm saying.
It's just a bit weird. I also like you have to assume. Okay, so the rumbling resolves, right? Like currently, their idea is okay. That everything's just getting rumbled now, isn't it? So then, what happens after? Well, Eren does fucking come back, right? And he is a fucking like overlord of Titans. So.
He's doing a lap of the world.
You remember your friend
since
since childhood? Just like untighten my mom. Could you do that? I mean, you just rumbled, which is like way harder. So could you not just like morph my mom back, dude? And it's like, yeah, would be very nice. So I don't have to feed a literal child to my mom. Like I don't know. That feels very weird.
A little too far in the future. You have to wait for Eren to do a full lap of the entire globe. We can come back.
The man can't wait 14 days.
I don't know if it's up to him.
What do you mean?
I mean, I think of the logistics of trying to keep a Titan, locked down.
His mom has been like lying on her back in absolutely beetle mode for like 4 years. Why the? Like, it doesn't matter.
Why
take
the chance,
by the way?
Man?
If like they never touch her again, is she just there like for the rest of eternity or what? Like theoretically, like know. Connie's dead and everyone's gone, and there's just still this like
his mom's
Connie
just chilling there,
still there, like 100, 200 years down the line. Like, how does that work?
Isn't there like a theory that they get their power from the sun? So I guess until it white dwarfs or something like that. Like.
Until it white dwarves. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've always wondered, like, if you were actually immortal, like you couldn't die, like at all, then like the Earth explodes from heat death when our sun becomes a red giant, and then what happens? Do you just like are you just still
just float
alive
and
in
then
space?
eventually you're like, I hate you, entropy, and then like
then you get absorbed into the red giant that is our sun, and then are you just like eternally cooking there, but you can't actually die? Like, what is? You know?
I would try to jump off the planet, you know.
Yeah. How's that going?
Are we going back to the flat Earth thing? Or are we just going back to the disc?
Yeah. You just jump off the side of the disc and then fall into eternity. Do you keep? Because here's my question for the flat Earth: do you just keep falling, or do you just like get suspended? Because you're into space at that point. Like if you jump off the edge of the flat Earth, are you just in space? And then does that obey the rules of space, where you're just like kind of floating?
The Earth just passes you by.
Or do you just keep falling? And if so, where are you falling to? Like, is it an infinite fall? How do they think gravity works? Like, are you just always going down? Is there like a downward force that goes? Do you know what I mean? Like, how does that work?
I assume they must then think that the Earth has a rim around it, right? Otherwise, the water would be pouring out constantly.
Well, yeah, it's a giant ice wall.
Yes, that's why they. Well, there's different interpretations. Originally, there was like, oh yeah, like there's just like this infinite waterfall, and then just it just goes over the Earth. But now it's a giant. So all of Antarctica is apparently a giant ice wall that surrounds the entire rim of the planet.
Yep.
Of the disc.
Oh, so they do believe in Attack on Titan.
Pretty much.
We are just all parody.
Pretty much.
The entire Earth is parody, and the rest of the world. There's no. It's. I don't. That's the other thing. Is there a universe? Is there a rest of the universe? Are there other planets? Are they also flat? How does that work? Is there more, or is it just this? Yeah, it's very finite. That sounds kind of scary. You know, an infinite universe is equally as scary as like a very finite. It's just Earth and that's it. That's like equally scary, but maybe even more scary. For it just to be like only Earth and that's it.
I'm getting claustrophobic right now. What do you think is beyond Earth then?
Who?
Like flat earthers. If they believe like there's nothing else.
I don't know. I don't think they've thought too much about it. I don't think they do a lot of thinking. It's like, hey, the Earth is flat. All right, and that's it. Done. There's no more questions. It's finished. It's that. You know, that's all they needed to hear. It's like, how gullible are you? 101. So now we wait till the next episode, back to AOT,
does it pick up then? Because I'm getting a little bored.
Next episode?
Dude. Yeah.
Next episode? Maybe. I don't know. The pacing's weird now. There's still a thing that happened in the manga that they haven't addressed yet. That happened like at this point in the manga, like two chapters ago, and they haven't done it yet.
Does it need to happen?
They still gotta do that. For story, this one's actually important for the main story. Yeah. This one actually addresses the main quest line. This is like this is an unskippable quest, if you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
Main story quest, yeah.
Makes sense.
So the side quest stuff, I mean, what was the end of? Oh yeah, you said there was a big reveal at the end. We might as well say what it was. So Hanji arrives and Levi's there. And he's just like, "Oh my god, Levi's alive!" First of all, did you really believe he died? And second of all, yeah, he's alive, but in what capacity? See, that's a big question.
He looks pretty banged up.
I mean, doesn't matter. He just can still beat Zeke's ass. Like, that's pretty much like his existence and the entire situation is always like, yeah, I'm kind of
I have
like
a question for you.
Completely dead, but like I can still clap Zeke's cheeks.
I got a question. Due to the fact that you don't actually know, what do you think? Where do you think Zeke is right now? What do you think happened to him?
That's a good question.
I won't.
So he still has to be around.
Neither Joe or I will clarify for you and tell you the answer. I just want to see what your reaction, how you are breaking this down in your mind. Well, they didn't say he died.
No, someone ate him. I'm pretty sure someone ate him.
Someone ate him. What does that mean? Like,
alternatively, someone has him and will feed him to him. Like him to someone.
Yeah, they're gonna feed him to himself.
The thing is, how would you? He has to be pretty much unconscious. So, maybe he doesn't have any will to live because like his shit is sort of done, right? Maybe he feeds himself to someone with a clearer vision, or has the ability to like stop Aaron, I guess.
Ooh. Who do you think?
I guess then the combination would be just feed yourself to Levi, because Levi was the guy that constantly clapped your cheeks, so you kind of probably have a bias to
fuse with him.
If you can't beat him, join him, kind of.
You know, I like it. I'm here for the Zeke Levi fusion dance that is, you know, Yiska's alternate reality. I like that.
Yeah, and then yeah, I mean that's probably like then the Annie reveal. It feels like weird to reintroduce Annie at this point. Like she has to be part of how this is resolved. Why?
Yeah,
just like
she was like the big like question mark in the basement, but like
whatever
in the basement. So would you rather him just decide to like retcon Annie entirely, or she just like cracks out and just dies in like Armin's arms and is like, I love you.
Just keep
and, like,
her keep her in this like crystallized state, whatever. Like
it'd be so funny if you get to the end of AOT, like it's all finished, all the loose ends are tied up, and you get to the end of the final panel of the manga, and Armin's like, oh shit, Annie, and it just ends.
Then it's just her banging on the glass.
Oh shit, Annie, like, they just all forgot.
It's like, and then the entire Annie story is also like, yeah, I could only hear you guys. I heard you clapping, Armin. Like, I don't know. Like, and so far I'm not too thrilled. Her character is just like absolutely boring.
Yeah, I mean, and she doesn't.
Most boring Titan. Like, the Card Titan at least has going for him that it's sort of a weird thing. Like, you look at it and you go like, wow, that elongated face is kind of weird. But like the female Titan is just like lame as shit.
Powers weird.
And Peak's way cooler than Annie, and I'll fight anybody who says otherwise.
Peak is pretty cool.
Peak is bae.
Yeah, very true.
Peak is best girl. Yeah.
And then
Although,
I don't know. It's
Annie and Hitch now get to do their own little what is that movie? Sisterhood of Traveling Pants little story going on. They do that together now.
Something like that. Yeah, I mean it's gonna spool up. It's getting getting good. Obviously, you know the end is near, so it can't go for too much longer. The side quest can't be too terribly long, right? So
yeah, I guess
it all matters.
It would be kind of dope if Levi got to snag. Wait, is Levi alien?
Yeah, technically yes.
Yeah, I
think so.
Akaman's alien, or are they Mali?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, at minimum, her mother would have, bared her through another alien. At minimum.
I guess they have to be because Mikasa also hears Eren, so we know that.
Well, yeah, because Mikasa's father was alien. Her mother was from the Azumabito clan.
Ah, right. Okay.
But her father is alien. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm pretty sure Levi is. He has to be. They all are. Well, what else could they be?
I mean, he could be Mali.
Even if you're an Ackerman.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
You think that's just like a late game spoiler? Like Levi was a plant this whole time.
No, it's not about being a plant. It just like was thrown into parody and like.
Yeah. Levi and Zeke, who are both Mali and on the Mali side, have been at each other's throats, killing each other's whole time while being on this.
I'm here for it.
Faction, yeah.
Let him go wild with it. Yeah. Who knows?
They were that committed. They were outside the Shiganshina walls. And they're like, oh shit, Flock is still alive. We better put on the act, guys. And they started fucking killing each other just for Flock. Just so Flock doesn't break doesn't tell anybody. Could they have just killed Flock and, gone on their lives? Yeah, but that'd be too simple, guys. You should just kill each other to just keep selling the lions dead.
He also never had any spinal fluid juice, right? Did he?
Who?
Levi? I don't think so.
What do you mean?
Like the wine?
What do you mean?
The wine with
he didn't have the wine.
Okay.
No, he specifically did not have the wine. The whole thought. Yeah. The rest of the squad, Levi had it, but he did not have it. He chose not to have it.
Power of an incel.
He's just a very disciplined leader. You know, respect that.
And he likes to clean.
And he isn't getting any.
He doesn't need any. He's got duty. He's got honor.
Oh, he's a Balsa then.
Maybe, I don't know.
They don't get into that kind of stuff. You know, that's more side story. You said you don't want more side story.
True, yeah.
I'm not going to get into that.
True. Yeah.
Gotta buy the DVD.
I don't know. I just feel it's sort of slow based on the high climax. And
for sure.
I hope the payoff is going to continue being worth it, because I would have been fine just ending on the rumbling and just everything is fucked.
This is literally feels like filler content.
Yeah.
Like when you watch any other like mainstream anime and you get to the filler content, this is what this is right now. But when you get back to the main story, it will be worth it.
Yeah.
But you have to, unfortunately, grit your teeth and bear through the filler, and then we'll get to the good stuff. We know we're on this stupid side quest. We're ignoring Voldemort, you know. But when we get back to the main story, it'll be good again.
Yep.
So hold on. We're gonna get there. That should be enough AOT. There's not much. We saved 2 episodes with AOT. There still wasn't much. So without further ado, on to some Overwatch stuff. Episode 215 rather. Brought to you by Battle Crab, Refine Bean, Bronzebot Bruhal, Chare, Prophet Picasso, Chris R34444, Kasha 67, Lolshin, Porkchop Sammy, Rexane, Sigurtha Lot, Volamel Smooth Nuts, and Your Misery, with a special shout out to our friends at juke.gg. Go check them out. Go to their website, juke.gg. They've just successfully launched their beta, the iOS of what is it again, Job? They're like Overwatch League companion client. Is that what it is?
Yeah. It's not even just for Overwatch League. It's definitely going to include Overwatch League, from my understanding, but it includes, you know, esports as a whole. So if you're interested in following multiple different esports, you know, having more curated content tailored to you, for the things that you kind of sign up for, or kind of have algorithmically profiled to you. Yeah, check that out. I think they're doing a really cool, interesting little gig, and iOS users, go head over.
It's like an esports hub where all the information that you care about is condensed into a much more digestible kind of format, so that you can get all the things that you want to see in one place, rather than, because esports is quite scattered. You know, if you follow more than one esport, you have to go to all these different places to find out the things you need. Juke is trying to be a kind of a one-stop shop for that. So go check them out, juke.gg. iOS launch. Android still coming. I'm in line. I'm gonna get the Android beta when it's available. So that'll be lots of fun. We're gonna do something. Speaking of fun, we're gonna do something fun to start out the episode on the Overwatch part. There's been a new cool thing that someone made. I forgot who made this. If shout out to the person who actually created this. I should have done more research. I don't know who made it, but OWLEL, I don't know if I spelled that correctly. I said that correctly. OWLEL is like the new wordle, but for Overwatch League. You can check it out at owlel.zusor.io. And on this website, you get to play. If you don't know what wordle is, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a word game where you have something like 6 opportunities, 6 chances to guess a 5-letter word, and it will tell you if you got a correct letter, or tell you, you know, if you got the correct letter but it's in the wrong place. And the goal is to figure out what the word is by the opportunities. So someone made one for the Overwatch League where you have to figure out who the player is, and the clues are in what team they're on, what division, what role they're playing, and their nationality. So we're gonna play around with this as a group, which means we'll probably get in like 2 tries. All 3 of us have not done the one today. There's a different player of each day. So yeah, let's go for it. Who wants to just blurt out a play? Just any random player. A season 5 player. Drop their name in there. Could be anybody.
Prophet.
I want to say again.
Prophet.
I knew you would. Prophet. Let's start with Prophet.
Okay, here we go.
What do we get? What is that? The
Pack East. So that's all the Asian teams.
Okay, so we got Pack East.
So this is already very good.
We already have 5 teams. So we have Chengdu, Guangzhou, Hangzhou, Seoul, and
it's pretty much
Shanghai.
a Chinese player at this point.
So because it's not a Korean player, it has to be a Chinese player, which narrows it down quite a lot. Although it doesn't, because we still have all the Chengdu teams. Joe, you know all
Hangzhou.
about the Chinese. You go next. Give us a Chinese player from Pack East.
Chinese player Pack East that isn't a DPS.
That's not a DPS. Not a DPS.
Let's do Gusha.
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
Okay, so we know they're Chinese.
So it
got one further.
So I guess
not
now
it's support.
Now it's got to be
Chinese
Volamel or
support,
something, right?
I'll do the next one. A Chinese support that is not from Hangzhou. Yeah, let's go OWLEL. Why not? Let's go OWLEL.
I like that.
Wait.
Okay.
Not Chengdu.
Not Chengdu. Okay.
So it's Hangzhou or no, it's not Hangzhou. It's Guangzhou. So it's Mali then, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say
Mali, of course.
Yeah, you're gonna get small. Should we just do it? Wait, have we decided? You happy with that, Yiska?
Yeah.
All right, let's go Mali.
There we go.
There we go.
In 4. Nice. I don't know if that's good per Wordle standards, but
yeah, forget about Mali.
Although he's not on Shanghai anymore.
True. No, but I think it was probably, made last season.
We got it in 4. We got it in 4 because we only got one clue correct each time.
Yeah.
It's probably still decent.
Yeah. No, we excluded it every time.
Hey,
we didn't really double anything up. I think we didn't make any mistakes.
Yeah. No onboard errors.
How would you make a mistake? You'd be silly dog if you made a mistake on this.
Now the question is
another Korean player when it said it's not Korean.
What's the play? What's the optimal strategy in picking your first player? Do you always want to have a Korean?
I think you do because most of the players are Korean. I think you pick Korean, you pick DPS because there's mostly DPS players, and the rest doesn't matter. I think you just do a Korean DPS first every time.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, that makes sense because then you can already you still have a pretty good wide margin, but if you go like Kevster, then you don't necessarily know unless you already hit the Swedish person, I guess. But otherwise, that makes sense. And if it isn't a Korean, then but the other information will then give you better ones. Okay, Nash equilibrium reached. We're good.
Okay, so we got the thank you, Eric. We got the person who created OWLEL. Still don't know if I'm saying it properly. Is Zeusa? Zeus's name is actually in the website, so I don't know why it took me that long to figure out. It's ll.zeusa.io. At Zeusa OW on Twitter. Tech producer working with BPL and Hell Esports. So
super
really cool.
Yeah,
really cool, fun. Really easy. Maybe there should be a 5th category, but I don't even know. I don't even know what 5th category you would use. But, yeah, I don't know. Oh, I got it. You put them into flex support and main support, but then DPS gets really weird because it becomes a little hard to dictate, and then you can't do off tank main tank anymore because it's gone. I don't know how you would create more categories, but I think there needs to be more than 4 categories because other than that, because it gets a little easy, but it's still fun.
Maybe
unless
even
8 guesses. Do it in 5 or 6 guesses.
Yeah, it feels like you should be able to
8 is a lot. 8 is a lot.
What if you just removed the region? Why do we get the region off the top? I feel like that limits so many teams. It just cuts so many teams immediately.
Oh yeah, limit the region.
Yeah, well, just don't make the region a category that it shows you. Just leave it open.
And it could be from any team, and that makes it harder.
Yeah, I would say so.
I suppose.
Make it a little bit more interesting, so it's not just oh.
But then you would need. I feel like then you only have 3 categories. Is that enough?
Maybe not. More? Yeah. I don't know.
You need
I have to play it more to really get a feel for it.
Yeah.
I don't know if 4 is good or bad, but it feels like we made a pretty natural
on par. It's on par. It means you got 1 correct clue every single time.
Guess. Yeah.
So works for me.
Yeah. Fun. Really cool. Check it out.
Sweet. Alrighty. What's next? I don't even know what's next. That's it. That's all the Overwatch we have for the entire week, guys.
Now we got some Valiant news, right?
Little roster rumblings, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with Birdring returning as a content creator, everyone thought it was another player. I remember when the whole Birdring thing, everyone's like, is it another player? Gladiators are just they're teasing another player, guys. Oh my god, they've given up on Padapan. They want another player to be there. Oh my god, it's going to be 4 DPS. Well, it was a DPS, but the guy's not actually on the team. He is a content creator. Very cool video, by the way.
Yeah.
Guard, who is now the parent organization of Gladiators. I don't know who did the video, but I just assume somebody in Guard. What an incredible content video they did for that. It's one of the best I've ever seen as far as announcing the content creator. Very, very slick. So, cool. Birdring's still around. He's probably playing. He's doing pretty good. I mean, he's joining an org, a good one, as a content creator. And he gets to be part of Overwatch 2. He gets to kind of see how things go and maybe even return to pro after a year if he wants to. So I think this is like a really good move for Birdring. Really smart. I like that.
Yep.
Beyond that, I mean, there's not much to say about that except cool, good job. Welcome back.
Happy to see him stay.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a big deal once we get some news on Overwatch 2 and possibly get, hands on the game. I think that's going to be a great player to keep within.
Maybe they'll let Birdring into the content creator meeting and he can finally tell us what's going on.
Hopefully. Yeah, give some good input.
Finally, an esports person gets to be part of the content creator meeting. Custer wins experimental
by the way, should I get on my soapbox about like whatever the content creators? Dude, I've been sitting here on my little take, waiting to be proven right in terms of like what was said and how the content creators were out of their fucking own minds hyping it like this. Like, it's really hard to conceive of a scenario where it wasn't the absolute expected what they were told. Like, there's very few things that they could have been told that would warrant them being hyped on social media. I'm gonna be 100% with you. Like, if you think, okay, here's things that you could be hyped about. You were told Overwatch 2 is coming out in 2022. That's something that you could be hyped about, right? In that case, if you were told that, fine. You can be hyped about this. Because it's fine to be hyped about that openly, right? Like, that sort of concerns everyone. If it is something like, well, I will get to stream, and then when people watch my stream, you get codes for an eventual beta. By the way, eventual beta this year, 100% expected for everyone. Nothing new about this. If you were hyped about that, you're an idiot. If it is literally just, I can make money off this, I'm very happy, let me post on social media about this, that communicates something else, please celebrate me getting money, fuck you. Like, the tone deafness of that action would be
if you
so,
want some money, just ask for it.
I am so ready getting into like really bashing that entire group of people. Like, maybe it's unreasonable to a degree to expect. Like, they've been living pretty much hell as well. I will say I'm in a pretty similar position. I don't know if you're just terrible at reading whatever everything is saying, like making accurate predictions based on what is going to happen, and therefore extrapolate that you were never going to get anything, and now that you get breadcrumbs, you're celebrating from the rooftops, and I should have empathy for your idiocy. I won't have. I will chew you out. Like, I think there are some content creators, to be fair, that were pretty reasonable about it, like Silosa or whatever, saying like, it wasn't actually that big of a deal. We know they haven't been told anything concrete. This is not getting better, dude. The more I hear about this, like, and I'm not saying I have any information on, like, of course, like, it's my job to reach out to people, and none of them would leak to me what was said to them. But the range of like their emotional feedback is very different, for sure. And I think like if it is really just like predicated on the fact that you guys are bad at being content creators because you can't read the strategy of the game you're covering and the information that you've been given, and therefore raise the expectation of the community beyond what everyone already should assume, you are going to get your cheeks clapped for that by the community. And I hope it backfires on you. Like, you gotta, like... Yeah, I don't know. That's just, like, my pet peeve with that entire situation. And, to be fair, I think the content creators must have been under a different assumption of a timeline and must have assumed that them being hyped about it in December isn't going to last, like, 10 weeks now since then. And we would have gotten information by this time, which is fair enough. That's regrettable on their part, I guess.
I will say, like, having caught up with one of the content creators recently, there's like, I don't know. I think we'll find out soon what it could have been, but as far as my understanding is, it's still like good. It's still some good thing that's not just like, yeah, they get to have the beta and they get to have some money. Like, I can't say that for sure. I don't know that for certain. But if it is, that would be really disappointing. But I think it's definitely more than that. I don't think it's as tangible as everyone else makes it to be. Like, it's more of like a intangible discussion about direction from Team 4 and Blizzard, more so than like, you can have this thing and here's a tangible thing. It's more of an intangible thing to my knowledge.
I think you kind of hit it there. I think for me was always like direction and like what's changing. This is what we want to do. These are the kind of like the tentative plans we have about things, and it got people really excited because it wasn't just here's some codes, throw it at the community. It felt more genuine. It felt like a line into, you know, how the sausage was made. At least again, parsing it from the outside in.
Look, like if you are getting told that you will get a pre-patch for the Overwatch League, right? You assume you're getting a pre-patch for the Overwatch League. That's like, nothing of this is going to hype you, right? Then the assumption is that it eventually will trickle down to the other levels of competition. Contenders players are likely to get it as well. Whether or not contenders players will be privileged over like the general public, that remains to be seen. I don't know how deluded you have to be into thinking that nobody's going to get their hands on some pre-patch version of this game outside the Overwatch circles in 2022. That was always going to be absolutely ridiculous to assume as much. Like the likely projection would have probably been, okay, so we're playing the pre-patch on in Overwatch League, and then by midsummer, everyone's going to play it. Based like when we've troubleshooted it, and in whatever it might be, maybe it's an experimental card, maybe it's an arcade thing, maybe it's the actual PvP. We don't know, but in some way you were going to get this. Once again, if that is what you were told and you were hyped about this, like I'd be sitting there, yeah, you better, you fucking better. Like, what do you mean only Overwatch League is getting it? Are you communicating that it's not the quality to give it to the general public and you're kind of scared that this game isn't going to be as exciting and therefore you want to field test it on your $500 million league? Is that what you're telling me? That is very unlikely, right? So, like, I don't know how people read all of that information, and if that is always only going to be it, like... Once again, it's going to be very hard to conceive of information that these content creators were told that is non-concrete. So it almost can't be like Overwatch 2 is coming in 2022, like that type of information them being told. But like maybe, I don't know, like... all of that information has to be so vague that, because it would have leaked by now. Let's be honest. It would have leaked if there was anything
probably,
like
tangible.
Like someone's going to talk. Someone talks to their girlfriend. They break up. Like it gets out, type of thing.
Sure.
Like,
sure.
nobody can keep a secret in this industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a weird situation where it's like, are you just like self-centered little brats just like celebrating on social media that you're going to get going to make more money? Is that what it is? I really hope it isn't.
Something tells me it's not. There's just too many people. I mean, is every single person that was in that meeting like of that same mind? I have to assume not, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I really hope so. But then again, it's very hard. Like, it is possible that they were just told very obvious things, and they're like, "Oh, Pog," and they just like are not very good at deductive thinking. And then in that case, fair enough. Like,
can it be just like column A, column B? Like, I'm sure there were certain things that like you're like listing off that these are like the bare minimum of what could have been done. Sure, I'm sure that was said. But I think as we dance around it, it's more, it feels to me like it was more, a direction. It was more like a change. It was more like AVRL was saying, it was more intangible, and there's nothing to leak, right? It's just like, I in a way it's hearsay, I guess, because there's nothing to prove.
I think we've all, unfortunately, we got baited in a way because the content creators did make a big deal of it. But we've all been, we're all, people generally think there's more than there actually is. There's actually, I don't think there's actually that much in terms of, wow, there's some like super secret, like there were legitimately people who thought like, oh yeah, there's some like content thing that they know, oh, there's gonna be a new, it's the Reaper skin, it's this whole Reaper event, that's what they were doing, that's the whole thing they were super excited about. Like, I don't know, it's not like some big reveal there's like some new heroes being revealed. It's just like, it's a general, to me, again, I'll just repeat myself, it's a general direction of where the game is going that got the content creators excited, and maybe some light information about when they might get access to the game at the very most.
What do you mean direction? Isn't it 100% like logical that we're going live service more? Like, isn't that your base assumption at this point? How is this any
no direction in terms of direction could even be in terms of how they want to engage the content creators in future instead of how they have been, which the content creators haven't been really happy with, and they're far more pleased about how Blizzard are currently engaging the content creators compared to where that has been in the past.
Then be quietly happy for yourself that you're going to make more money and be acknowledged by your little gods.
I don't think that's the only thing.
It can't be the only thing. Yeah.
I don't think that's the only thing. I think it's that plus then, like, hey, we want to, hypothetically, I'm speculating that we want to, listen to more feedback from the community. We want to make a game that is going to be enjoyable in these ways, and we want to fix these issues with ranked and these other things, and we want to improve the game in this kind of way. Like that, these are all general talks about the direction of the game. That's not just like it's going free to play. Okay, it's not just that.
That, I mean, someone can tell me a lot. Why would I be hyped about that? Like,
I think it's pointless to speculate further on this because I can't tell you what else they could be super hyped about.
I will say,
I don't know.
It is pretty, like, my question marks are, right? So you're thinking from a PR person standpoint, right? And you think, you gotta get your content creators on your side. Okay, let's engage them. Let's make them feel valued. Let's talk to them. Like, maybe have some of the head developers in that call. Just like give them some sugar, right? To create hype for us and sort of like spread the hopium. That's a fine strategy. But there's one or of two things. Either you don't know when that needs to be timed, or you already delayed your plans. Because 10 weeks is not the window in which you want this hopium to be created. You are really like now getting to the point where your hype creating mechanism is now flipping on you and everyone's getting pissy about it. Right? So one of two things has happened. Either you misjudged the length of that taking, and Jesus Christ, have you absolutely not communicated with anyone in a hot minute, or you're behind what you thought your schedule was going to be. And then I'm also concerned.
I mean, to your point, you have, I think it was Mike Ybarra coming out and talking about like, oh, in the next few weeks, and this is like mid to late January, that we're supposed to be getting some Overwatch 2 news, with, again, if memory serves, I think it was used, or the right verbiage was like within the next few weeks. And I feel like we've definitely gone through a few weeks and we really haven't heard much outside of like the Reaper stuff. So I agree. It's getting to the point where a lot of that hype is kind of turning tide, and it's being reflected back at them and going like, look, like you communicated this stuff to us and
we got
now
baited.
It feels like it, kind of, in a way.
Yeah, we got baited because they got all up in arms about it, which is fine. I don't care about that. But no one else knows, and so we're all just like, so what's going on? Yeah, I mean, I don't think they set out to bait anybody. It's just that, well, I don't even know how to explain this. It's just that the circumstance we're in currently is that Blizzard haven't announced anything, and content creators obviously got something and they were quite happy about. And now we're further down the line. So I see where people are upset, but like at the same time, like I don't know what else. Like they're not ready. Blizzard are not ready to show us. They're not ready. So
Eric, our producer, kind of does point out a very hilarious point that knowing our luck, it drops before the show tomorrow, and we just look like mega dum-dums.
Yeah, this wasn't
and
meant to
hopefully
this wasn't even meant to be a. It wasn't even meant to be a topic this week. So I appreciate Yiska for putting an effort to lengthen our show at least a little bit.
This is therapy at this point.
Otherwise,
like,
I was about to sign off.
Get it out.
I was about to sign off right now. I was like, we did our OWLEL little thing. All right, that's it for the week. 30 minutes, 20 minutes of which was AOT, and we're done. 30 minutes in and out.
Pretty much.
Okay, well, thank you for that, Yiska. A weekly rant about content creators as we get towards our one player signing for the week. Mykaylee, is he signed or is this a rumor?
I believe it is a rumor. Sources say, per Mr. Halo of Thoughts, that.
So what happened was, so here's the basis of this rumor. One, Xe apparently, whatever, I don't know what happened, but Xe's being signed to Valiant fell through.
I think he signed a 30-day. I think that's the rumor. Signed a 30-day.
30 day for what? 30 day between January and February? What do you mean 30 days?
Yeah. Apparently.
30 days between January and February. Oh, well done. Okay.
Then
to play Overwatch
like,
League. Good job, guys. Good job. That sounds even.
Yes.
That sounds as stupid as it sounds. Okay. So Xe's he didn't make it onto whatever the thing was. He's not on the starting lineup. He's not part of the full team for the year. He's not on the team at all. And that fell through. And instead, Mykaylee has taken that position. Mykaylee, who you would remember, who was on the Guangzhou Charge last year, is now on the LA Valiant and in that position. Assuming that doesn't fall through, which I don't think it would. Well, who knows? I didn't think the Xe thing would fall through either, but it did. Basically, LA Valiant really wanted a second hit scan, and they got him. So their current DPS lineup now looks like Dia, Mykaylee, Becky, and Innovation. Now, I still don't know if you really need 4 hit scans on Valiant. I don't know what their budget looks like. I don't know if that's going to impact their other signings. Because now you've overloaded on DPS. You still need another tank.
Yeah.
Maybe you still need another support. Like, who knows? Like, I don't know that 4 DPS was the priority, but I'm not going to try and question No Hill too much. Maybe they are getting those extras, and that's fine. In which case, Valiant have just like got a mega sized team, which is so surprising to me if that's true. And maybe this is going to be a Mykaylee comeback story because he didn't do well last year. He was not good last year.
No, he did not.
No, not in the slightest. But he
needs a revenge story coming in. He needs a bounce back.
And maybe this is his his redemption arc, because even looking at, I think, AVRL, like, maybe you can speak to this. Like, I think it was Charge in New York had like a scrim early on in like the preseason coming into 2021. And like, that's when some of the initial hype was built around New York. And Mykaylee, I remember watching your stream. I remember you commenting on him, and he did look good. But when you saw him in the server in the regular season, like, that did not translate. Like,
even Shanghai Masters. Not even scrims. Watch the actual official match. Okay, it's a third-party tournament, but still. The official matches from a third-party tournament. He popped off. Mykaylee was solid. That was versus Shanghai as well.
Yeah.
And like that's just not who we got. Like it's a different person. So it's like I'm willing to give him another shot, but like it is to your point, it is an odd gamble. You know, there are definitely different looks that front offices are giving, you know, oh, we want to try and play the field. Oh, we only have so much budget, so we're going to build out, you know, a DPS stable or, you know, add an extra support or add an extra tank. Some teams can do all three, and that's great. But Valiant seemingly, like AVRL saying, like this isn't a team that seeming, you know, has a ton of money to be able to throw around, right? Like we saw them last year. I can't imagine things have improved too terribly much. Is DPS really where you want to gamble? It's kind of it's interesting.
Maybe they do. Maybe IG. It sounds so weird to say.
Yes,
I can't imagine a world where it's true. But they've got some more money from somewhere. Someone's given them money. They did not have this last year, and now suddenly this year they have No Hill and a bunch of fucking players, and they're shipping in players from Korea. Like, what? Whoa, holy! That's not very different. Someone's got money.
Yep. It is bizarre. And I think we were talking before the show, and while I don't know how likely a double hitscan meta is, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of a little bit more excited to see Xe and Dia paired together than Mykaylee and Dia, if I'm gonna be completely honest. It doesn't like significantly drop them for me, but I won't lie, it's not a DPS duo I'm like thrilled to see approach. Dia is great, don't get me wrong, but you know, we were kind of excited about Mykaylee and it really didn't pay off. Hopefully, maybe the no hill buff comes in, maybe he catalyzes, maybe he is a great player. I'd love to eat those words. That's fantastic. I love that underdog story.
Yeah.
The realist in me, the cynic, I'm looking at Xe. I'm looking at, you know, his pedigree, his career. Yes, he couldn't make it last season due to medical issues. If that's fixed, you've got to assume that says something about him, right? Like the consistency has to be there, right? Am I wrong in thinking that?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know where No Hill sees something in Mykaylee.
Yeah.
And that's.
Then again, for all we know, it could just be the same thing. They're just trying people out.
Possible. How they... Possible. It's a rumor. Who knows?
Yeah.
Halo's just reporting on people in trials right now. Next minute is like, yeah, there's 12 new people rumored for the LA Valiant. Oh, look at that.
Yep.
20 people rumored for the LA Valiant. Wow. It has to be pretty close. If it's gotten to Halo to this point, it's pretty close. So
yeah,
expecting that they wanted Xe, fell through, and now they're getting another option for hitscan, and it happens to be Mykaylee. People were saying like, oh, should they have gotten Sea-Wave? Would you take Sea-Wave or Mykaylee? I'm not too sure. Sea-Wave is more recent.
Yeah,
he's done more. So I think people were quite soured by it. You would normally say Mykaylee if it wasn't for the fact that people got quite soured by his performance last year.
Yeah,
right? That kind of ruined it.
Yep.
So we'll see. Valiant be making moves, and that's about it. No other news for Overwatch. Deadline's coming though, guys.
Yeah.
What is it? March 1st? Is that the day?
For what, 6?
March 1st for 6 players.
Yep.
And some teams do not have. NYXL don't have 6.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Shock don't have 6. There's other teams that don't have 6, but there are teams that do not have 6 yet. They're gonna have to get 6.
Yep.
So we are gonna get. We may or may not be getting some roster news soon, because the other fun thing is you can sign somebody but still not announce them publicly, which is a lot of fun.
Yep.
But I guess that's when Halo boots up the Twitter again and gets on.
Mm-hmm.
So, alrighty. Is there any other?
It's been pretty dry.
Well, there's also 2 tournaments coming up.
True.
Overwatch Empowerment Cup and Mayhem Winter Classic. I got that correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Just, it's winter. Look, it's cold. That's what I want. It's also good. Like you want to see. It's good to see Mayhem. By the way, they're definitely real ones. Mayhem are the real ones because they are consistently putting on third-party events, supporting tier 2. Good on them.
Yeah.
Well done. It's good.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. It's lovely.
Remember when everybody was so excited when we got some of the initial details of the Overwatch League? Like, oh, these teams are going to get like vouchers to run their own events, and it's going to be so cool. Like everybody's going to be doing third-party stuff. And then you got Mayhem. Pretty much the only ones doing that. Valiant used to every once in a while. Glads, I believe, had an event. You know, I think some teams have some events, but then
I don't remember them having an event.
I just am thinking of like a California like thing that happened, so I'm just trying to name as many teams as you shotgun it. But yeah,
Asian teams have done way more. Asian teams being China,
that's very fair.
Not China, or Shanghai. Shanghai have repeatedly done Shanghai Masters, and Next Cup is done through NetEase in Shanghai. So I think, you know, as far as like it's Mayhem and Shanghai that I think have done the most with their licenses. Yeah. So props to them. They're the real ones.
Big props, yes, 100%. This off season would be.
Did Boston do Steel Series, or was that?
I
Boston?
believe so.
Was that their event? I thought it was just a Steel Series event. I don't know. I don't know Boston. Did Boston organize that? I don't know.
If memory serves, but yeah, I think.
Oh, by the way, the LA event you're thinking of is like they had a it was the LA Valiant had an event before they booted their team. Before they went full China, they had an event. Because I remember Adam playing it on Ping last year.
Yep.
It was the LA something. No, not California Cup. It was LA something.
But yeah,
it was something else. It was more like a show match exhibition event than an actual tournament.
People love that shit. It's not for us. It's not content.
It was
for us.
something, but I can't remember what it was.
I hope to see, an org like the Guard coming in, doing a lot of great things across esports as a whole. Step in. I could see them doing something. I could see, I'd like to see Houston, but I don't know how much, their parent org is really connected. I could see Dallas maybe doing something. Like I really want to see more teams starting to use their license, as we get closer to Overwatch 2. I'd love to see more exhibitions. I think these fans have been neglected in a way.
I think teams are maybe hesitant to use it for Overwatch 1 because the return is probably not there.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like with Overwatch 2, I feel like you've got a lot less excuses. You should probably think about doing something with that a bit more. That'd be nice anyway.
I think it's needed. Even if it's just for tier 2, I think that's, a good gesture, a great, showcase of new talent.
Here's the problem, man. Like, you want to see a preseason tournament, but I think in order to see a preseason tournament like we got last year with Shanghai Masters and Next Cup, the game needs to be available. Like, it's been more than 1 year since the Next Cup.
Oh, for sure.
Which I co-streamed last year, which was like a really cool event. Where Dallas even played on that event. And it's been more than a year since then, and they can't even hold stuff like that because the game's just not there yet.
Not out. Yeah.
And here's the other problem: is I don't think they would even if they had the game, because it's very likely, speculation on my part, again, that if you're Blizzard, you probably want the first showing of Overwatch 2 professionally and competitively and just
100%.
Generally speaking to be in the Overwatch League and not on a third-party tournament, right? Strategically, that makes more sense. Why would you allow a third party to debut your new game before you? So even if they did have the beta, it's not like they could just show the game. They'd have to do it on Overwatch 1. So it's all a bit whack. Is what it is.
That's a good question. Are they not going to allow players to stream the game when they get access to it?
Maybe.
I think after like an initial event, like what Avril's saying.
I think streaming is different. Streaming it is very different to we are holding a professional tournament with Overwatch League teams.
Right.
Because that usurps the Overwatch League a little bit.
Yep. That's been a big fear.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yep.
Again, that's just my speculation. Is not like I'm not saying that's exactly their position, but that's what I think is likely the case.
Right. Yeah, makes sense.
Before someone takes that out of context. So Empowerment Cup would be really cool. I'll be watching, probably co-streaming and supporting that. And Winter Classic, maybe the same. We'll see. Maybe. Finally watch a bit of NA. Yeah, so... Yiska, anything else you want to get off your chest real quick? so I can use that opportunity to go to the bathroom. I've never do this on a podcast, but
hey, you gotta go. You gotta go.
Here,
we'll fill.
I sat here doing. See both of these. These were both. This was full. Both of these were full.
True.
When I started the podcast.
The good news is the McDonald's one wasn't actually mostly water. It was mostly sugar. So maybe you're just like experiencing the effects of diabetes and therefore have to pee a lot.
Yiska, why don't you tell everybody about what you think Pack and 10's new job is?
True.
Oh, that's a good question. So okay, here's first weird champ moment. Why is he being hired now? Like, if your entire thing is, maybe he was hired before. I wouldn't know. But like, if your entire thing is to uphold competitive integrity, and like that's your job, it feels like drafting up the systems that will contain or like it will happen and is pretty like important for you to be there then, right? Like, you want to talk about the seasonal format, you want to gather feedback from the teams and like incorporate that into the scheduling, and then I mean, I'm not saying that hasn't been done, right? It's just like I feel like that hire makes sense in like September last year or something.
Yeah, agreed.
Right. Yep. It's also interesting that he went that route. I would have assumed you probably could have been somewhere else, could have continued coaching, probably could have made more money elsewhere. But it's for sure an interesting move. I think he probably will be very receptive to the information or to like the teams. He has lived that life. He knows where the pressure points are. Can negotiate between teams and the league in that capacity. I think he also probably will push for competitiveness in certain aspects. I think, like, generally speaking, I really like the move. But we will have to see what this entails. Like, once again, I feel like 80% of his job has already been done or decided of how I conceive that. And now you're like sort of gathering feedback over the year and like try to amend things. Now, of course, maybe I'm underestimating, for instance, how many live events we will have, and then you need someone to monitor like the workstations and make sure that everything is working there, and like make sure that the teams have the ability to give feedback based on like what the venue is like to uphold competitive integrity there. Someone to structure the practice or whatever it is. Like there are certain challenges that might happen. I also am interested where the league thought this requirement or the necessity for that role came from. You know, if that makes sense. Like, what is the activity that they said in the meeting and went like, we need a guy like this. But okay, here's the big but. I will say, Jesus Christ, does this league need help with everything in terms of ruling? Like, my God, nobody knows what the rules are. Nobody really sticks to the letter of the rules. Everyone's like fudging around. Yep. Like, people are like filing complaints. Nobody gives a fuck about them. Like, that's definitely something that needs to be resolved. For sure, skis, right?
Yep.
And then maybe I can even talk to Packin about this in a more official.
Yeah, you should do an episode with them. You should do one of your interviews with them.
Yeah, I'll try to get that on the road. But like, I think there's a lot of that where you can help out. So maybe
you're just like Packing, my guy. What the fuck do you do now? Well, what is you? I don't know what your job is. Tell me what your job is.
Yeah. Like, I feel like, especially in the offseason, there's so much fuckery going on that, like, that position makes sense to me. And then in the mid-season, like, the situations like the striker boost last year when nobody really knew too much about how the rules work, and by the letter of the rules, that should have not been allowed, but there was, like, the way they solved this was to make that ledge, like, patch it out of the game or whatever. I'm not sure if it was immediately fixed, because I remember there being a fix, but it actually wasn't that position. You could still get on it. So, and and then like general managers being generally pretty confused about those rules. But there's more going on where it's like, yeah, you need a guy to just like look over the rules at best, like with some ability to create new rules that are sensical. Maybe even a law background would have been nice, but I mean, fair enough. Like you can still, like try to make salient rules there. But yeah, I feel like that was always like since season 1, it has always been a pretty big issue that. It feels like for the longest time it worked for the Overwatch League to just like be very laissez-faire about this and just go like, well, yeah, we hear you, but like, if you want to like just sit on the stairs until it doesn't hurt so bad anymore, that's what we prefer you to do. Like, they usually just didn't really address the issue and just let it be until nobody really complained enough. Unless there's someone that has a lot of weight to throw around, in which case they usually just like caved pretty quickly. Yeah. So, yeah, I hope, like, knowing Parking, he's probably not going to have that done to him and not be a pushover. But yeah, like, we definitely need some internal structure in terms of like how rulings work. We definitely need, like, I'd love him to come out and just hard ass it and go like literal as possible and just smoke some guys and just to make sure, like, okay, it's not going to fly with me the way you're pulling this, right? So, no, then again, okay, let me caveat this a little bit, because I think like the way I feel about certain things going on behind the scenes, I feel about this a lot more strongly than the general public will. So I guess I should caveat this information going like, if I told you what happened, you wouldn't think it's a big deal. I think it's a big deal because I care about the integrity of the sport a lot, even though you probably won't as much. So it's not that big of a deal to the normal person, I guess.
And with that, it's time to play our longest ever edition of Get Off the Fence.
Pretty much.
Because if Overwatch won't give us any news and entertainment,
we'll make our own.
We'll create our own.
Exactly.
Fine. Joe will do it himself.
God. All right. So yeah, Get Off the Fence this week. If you asked a big, deep, insightful, thought-provoking question, it's probably going to answer today. And if you want to drop a big brain, brainiac 5-head question for the boys here, you can go over to patreon.com/tacticalcrouch. Any level of patronage will get you access to our patron-only Discord channel, where you can drop questions there. I'll add you to the magical list, and you will get your question answered, much like we've integrated some of these questions into kind of a game for the show. Ashador asked a question, really early on when we started doing this, and it was just so, wide and difficult to kind of wrap around within, the context of just the end of a show that, we wanted to kind of bring it into a full segment, I guess, for these kinds of episodes where there's not a lot going on, that we can really dive into it and give it the proper stuff, the mustard that it deserves. So what we're going to do is do try to do it justice. The original question being, they wanted us to do a snake draft to make our dream rosters for Overwatch 1 and or Overwatch 2. I think we've all pretty much unanimously decided that we are going to focus more on Overwatch 2 for this. So a 5-team or a 5-roster team. And yeah, we're just going to go around, give a little blurb on why we're choosing the player that we are, take it off the table, and we'll move along, I think.
Now, can I caveat this? Can I hedge? Can I
do what you need to, but
get
on that fence.
Rid of all the responsibility that I can at this point?
Yep. Add the caveats.
You guys know me. I'm inherently a tryhard, and we didn't do any prep for this, so I'm not sticking to my information here. to my input here. Like, don't nail me on whatever strategies I'm going to pick. It's probably going to be lackluster, and I will try hard this for 60 pages of Google Docs right after we're done.
So, just to explain the rules a little bit. We are snake drafting our dream team. We're basically building a team. For Overwatch 2.
Correct.
Is it just 5 people?
Just 5 people. You get 5.
2 DPS, 1 tank, 2 support.
Yep.
Done.
Just 5
Unless
players.
somebody wants to build a bad team and they don't want to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And yeah, I believe AVRL, you are first on the docket. First name.
I get first pick?
I believe so. Wow. Looks like it. The producer has decried. You are first pick.
Oh, give me proper. I'm taking the Thanos player instantly as fast as I can. Give him to me. Okay, give me the rookie of the year.
Okay, this is just about 1 season, right? We're just drafting for season 5. I don't have to keep the longevity of my players' careers in mind, right? This is a hard one. I'm kidding, Prophet.
Wait, are you trolling?
No.
Does he get another pick now? It's snake draft, yeah?
No, the joke gets one.
I guess we're doing them, everybody. So I will take.
Oh, you're gonna go as well. All right.
Yeah, I guess I've been included. This will be a fun one.
Go on.
Give me. Give me Fleta.
Yiska's trolling. Yiska's actually trolling.
You're getting another one.
I get 2. Ooh, okay. Give me Fate.
Wow. He's having me hey. Wow. Okay, I'm going to destroy. Watch AVRL's soul shatter right now. Look at his camera. Look at his camera.
Okay. There's a lot of picks remaining. It'd be very
yeah. But
there's so many good picks remaining.
Just
you cannot
one
possibly
like
shatter it in 1 pick. Doesn't matter.
Wait.
Go on.
Lip.
Go on. Oh, that's not. I wasn't gonna pick him. That's fine.
Really? Okay, I thought I fucked it by going Prophet first and not Lip.
No, I did not. I wasn't gonna go for him.
Wow.
This is the guy I was gonna go for next. Leave.
Oh. would that have shattered you? Maybe I should have.
You left him open.
I think Lip is.
Open. How stupid was that of you guys?
Lip is a better bet.
Yep.
Wait, hang on. I assume that like language barriers and shit doesn't matter, right? Or does that matter?
Hey, you get to. It's your team. You get to decide. It's a dream team.
Yeah.
A dream team. Okay. In my dream team, language barrier doesn't exist.
There you go.
I go Smurf next.
Wow. Okay.
Interesting.
Bro. Void.
Not a bad pick. Give me. Give me Pelican. Oh, do I get to go again? Oh shit. Yeah, if it's a dream team, I want Twilight.
What the fuck?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going Lee Jae-gon.
Good pick.
AVRL, you're up. Get 2.
Give me baby. I'm joking, not baby. I'm not picking baby.
Okay, Moon. Okay.
I'm kidding. Give me. Damn. I just don't care about supports. I put all my weight on the DPS and on the DPS tank. Then now I'm just like, oh shit, who do I get for support? There's a lot of good ones open. I might as well take. As I just look through really quickly about whomst I have a lot of belief in. Okay, give me Shu. Give him to me. Fuck it. Give me Shu. Give him to me.
Yeah, one more. Last pick to round out your team.
My last one.
Mm.
Give me Chorong. Give him to me. I'll take Chorong.
Yiska?
So now I'm thinking, should I just go all populist and just like pick the one that I will get the most positive comments, so I win by the public court? Or do I go with the one I actually think would work the best?
Yes, I've already won by both public court and by actual power in the roster itself. So it doesn't matter what you pick now.
I think by virtue of having proper, it's probably true.
I have proper and leave. You guys fucked up. You guys
I think leave is probably not.
Oh, you're a hater. No, you're a hater.
So
you remember what you said last year, my guy. You need to be careful.
Oh, dude, this is hard.
It is.
Just take Piggy. I know you want him.
What? No, I need a flex support.
He needs a support. Yeah.
Oh.
Bro.
Why don't you? I don't want to influence you. I want to say something, but I don't want to influence you.
Violet. I will go with the populist vote.
Oh, wait, you didn't want to go with Iziaki? Isn't he your favorite player?
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Nope.
You know, I trust our guy. Oh, I know I'm missing somebody, but this is the only name that kind of comes to my head. I trust in the stats. I trust in Baroy. I have a lot of faith, so I'm gonna go faith.
Okay, yours is yours is most definitely not the one people will vote for.
That's okay. You don't need to vote for mine.
Oh my god. Why do you always have to be so special about everything, Joe?
Because I have God and anime on my side, you stupid.
You stupid.
You will need it too.
Hey,
like,
now let me ask you a question. Here's, and I'm about to influence YouTube, and they're going to copy exactly what I'm about to say here. So listen up, YouTube.
Right.
This is what you're going to say in the comments. The best player that got left out of all three lists, that should have been at least one of them, is Hanbin. And the reason I left him out, I thought about it, but the reason I left him out is because I have a belief that I would still trust that an actual main tank player is going to be best in the tank position based on how I think the role is going to function. Even though I do truly believe that the flex tank is probably going to be more mechanically capable in that role. I just think the main tank players have more experience and have more knowledge about how to navigate now the sole tank position than flex tanks would, based on how the tank role was in 6v6. So if I'm only allowed to pick one tank, I'm going to go for who I think the best main tank player is, and that's Smurf for me.
Here's my hot take. 75% of all main tanks will be obsolete by the end of the next season.
I don't think that's
not
that
Smurf,
hot.
because he's the only tank player for Soul they have to use him.
I hold on to the bars of my jail.
He's
Not
in the 25. Smurf is in the 25, all right? Not Smurf. He's going to be fine.
Probably. I mean, I wouldn't doubt that Smurf would be, one of those players that could survive, but I think there is going to be a big main tank purge if what we think is happening, right? Like, if this role is becoming a lot more mechanically dependent, like, shit's gonna look real weird when you have a flex tank trying to come in and play that, which they probably can, but...
One thing, I'm the only one that went for any rookies. Wow, you guys are hating. I'm the only one that actually went for rookies.
I mean, I would have gone for proper. I can tell you that much.
Probably, but like, as far as where fans go, they might not know the rookies as well, so they might be down and like, who's proper? Who's Chorong? They probably know who proper is, but a lot of people might say, who's Chorong? Like, I mean, I think it says a lot that if I can't get Lee J gone, my next main support choice immediately goes to a rookie instead of anybody else. That's probably...
Which is, I would argue, is probably... the fact that Joe didn't go Funny Astro when we said language doesn't matter is a weird champ.
Yeah, that one's weird for you, Joe. My one, I feel like, at least in my perspective, I'm picking like one of the top support rookie prospects, right? Like proper is the best rookie prospect. But then after that, if you're gonna individualize my roles on the support position, Chorong is the best rookie prospect for his role. So I went for him. Which makes sense to me.
That's just less fun. I want to have faith. I hear some good things. I hear, you know, behind the scenes, this kid's a nut. Why not? Give him a shot.
this what is this take, man? Like, I wanna have some fun in my life. So when I go to the ice cream parlor next time, I'm picking vanilla. Like, what are you talking about, bro?
No, it's like a mystery flavor. You don't know what you're gonna get.
Vanilla of Overwatch? What are you talking? What does that mean?
Yes, because like he's probably underrated, you know, like, but he's really not that special in that. Like I mean, I respect Baroy's opinion, but he's not better than Lee Jae-gon, and he's also not better than Funny Astro, right? And he's probably very, very likely not better than Charon.
Can I say one other thing? Mm-hmm. This is how you know I'm looking beyond the obvious here. Why, that's a lie. I've chosen very obvious people, but I've looked beyond just the homogeny of only going for Korean players. I'm the only one that didn't go for a Korean player. I'm the only one that has a non-Korean player on my team.
Oh shit.
I'm the only one that has a rookie and a non-Korean player on my team. Now, if you want to be really cool about this, we reset this, do it all again, but only use non-Korean players. No Koreans allowed in this next one.
That would be interesting. Could try.
Would you try? Would we be interested in trying a Western/Chinese version of this?
I think you could. I would say so. I think that would be fun.
I was going to say like non-Chinese as well, but then I thought like, fuck it, they don't get a lot of chances anyway. We might as well include them. I'm not gonna.
Now for this one, are we doing total dream scenario, like no language barriers, just skill?
Yeah. Total dream scenario.
Okay.
But no Korean players.
Because I won't lie, halfway through getting my team, I'm like, I really want leave, but I don't know what we're doing for language barriers, so I'll just go full Korean, say fuck it. And then I just kind of ran with it. So this one will be a little bit easier.
Unless like there is a very big conflict between Leave and the rest of the Korean players, I could also see a scenario where he fits on a Korean team, just like, you know, probably. Yeah, okay. Are you trying to shove a square peg into a round hole? Okay, but you also have a sledgehammer, so it's gonna work.
Yeah,
you know? You're gonna make that work.
It's likely.
It's too good to not work. Also, I feel like proper Leave. If I'm only allowed 2 DPS players, and I've literally picked the 2 most flexible DPS players possible, I can't go wrong.
No, you really can't.
I don't know. There's no meta that I can be fucked on.
No, you covered your bases really well with those. Like,
it's not possible to cover them better. So the fact that you guys missed on those is unbelievable to me. I can't believe what a W that was.
I mean, first pick is very powerful. Can I say?
Yeah, and Leave got all the way back to
me. He
He
did.
Came back to me. What? 4 picks later, came back to me.
It's, you know, listen, it's 3 a.m. I don't know, boys. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh my god.
There's a reason why Faith got picked. All right, I'm just saying. Sometimes it's Faith, sometimes it's sleep deprivation.
You looked at Funny Astro, you looked at Moth, you looked at FD God, you're like, nah.
Give me Faith. Fuck it. It is interesting.
No one went for 2 flex spots, did they? We all went for 1 flex, 1 main.
Yeah. I mean, it's color me, you know, rose tinted, but you know, I think that's likely to be that skill is going to be something you want to call upon early, I think, in Overwatch 2. But so Yiska.
Yes.
We're going to do this. No Koreans this time.
We'll do it again, but you can't pick any Korean players.
Yeah, no Koreans.
No Korean version.
Okay.
Again, Dream Team, no language barriers.
Yep.
Chinese and Western players, okay. No Korean players.
Okay.
Because it was too easy.
Yep.
Out of our 15 player roster, 14 out of 15 were Korean. So we got to change it up a little.
Sure.
Do I get to go again first?
Yeah. Yep. Take first pick. Yeah, go ahead.
Changing the graphic is too much.
Yeah, all right. Give me Leave again then. This is how easy
there you go.
This is how easy it's going to be for me. This is a big step coming straight away.
His entire strategy has been demolished in 2 picks.
Give me Shy.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Oh, it's me again. Give me Yeah, give me Eileen.
Oh my god. Already worst team. Wow.
Joe's going for the Chinese super team, but no leave.
Super.
The leaveless Chinese super team.
Super.
All right.
Yeah.
Shit.
AVRL twice.
Oh, hang on. Right, what are the options? Wow. Wow. Space.
Interesting.
Wow.
Get another
one. This is messed up, dude. This is messed up. I need a list of names.
This is so hard.
It's tough.
Wow. God.
It is not easy.
God, what is going on right now? My mind's getting melted. Guys, this is tough.
It is super hard.
Could just pick Faith. I don't know.
Okay, I think I'm there. I just needed one last pass over. I just needed one last glance over all the possible options, of which it's pretty limited. To be honest with you. Kai.
Fuck. Okay. Funny Astro.
Got him.
He boomed me.
Oh, shit, I boomed him.
Give me. So I get 2 here. Give me.
Oh.
It's my dream team. I gotta have Molly for the brand.
It's always a good start. It's a good start when just it's my.
You gotta have Molly on the brand.
I'm gonna go with Faith.
Exactly.
My dream team.
And give me Gaga for the populist vote.
Oh shit! Fuck! Now I feel I fucked up.
Well, you lost faith in Super.
No. Yo, this is hard, bro. The thing is, I kind of don't like the idea of just going like a Chinese player now, because that team doesn't make any inner coherent sense, right?
No language barrier. We said no language barrier.
I know, but it's at the same time.
Magical universe where everyone speaks every language perfectly.
I know where Yiska's coming from though, where it's just like internally, it's like, yeah, but I know that's the rules, but think about it
from the perspective of like a fantasy draft where none of this shit matters. You're just going for power picks that can get you points.
Yeah.
Right? The thing is, I probably need some time to think about my DPS, so I should probably think about the flex.
Yeah, but all the DPS is gone now. You're pick 11, bud. You better start snatching them up. I mean, I guess there's nobody else that can pick a DPS, so you're kind of.
You get it. Yeah, you get free choice.
On non-Korean flex supports is really just one, right? It's just like.
There's plenty of Chinese flex supports you can pick. There's a few Western ones, and then a lot of Chinese ones.
I guess I could. I don't want it though. I kind of don't want to. I'm going Crimzo.
Okay, not bad. Bad pick at all. AVRL twice.
Oh, I fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, give me OG Ultraviolet back to back.
Yep. Bang, bang.
Fuck me.
OG Ultraviolet back to back.
I fucked it.
Back to Yiska for the second of his DPS.
Okay, so we gotta go for a Hail Mary play. We gotta go high risk, high reward. I'm going Paddy Pan.
Okay.
High risk, high reward. I think he is literally the highest high risk, high reward that you can get. So maybe.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, I guess round out with Yveltal and call it a day.
But okay. You really do have the Chinese dream team minus leave.
Pretty much.
You've gone for like, what is my 2022 Chinese World Cup team where Leave has broken both his hands? Like, what does that look like?
He's turned in, you know, he needs his rest, you know, he's on vacation. He's just not available, doesn't want to play.
Guy's injured both arms. What does this look like? Like
yeah.
I've gone for full like English Western, and then just randomly shoved Leave in there, the same as I did on my Korean roster as well. Just
kind of hard not to. When you're that good, it is hard not to.
Dude, shove him in there.
The instant I realized I didn't pick Ultraviolet, I just like, God damn it! I think that was the pick. But
do we now do just a pure Western?
Huh?
Do we just do Western now? Well, is there enough players to just do Western?
Oh, so what? It's gonna be Atlanta, Rain, Paris, Florida, Vancouver, and London. Boom. That's it. Have fun, guys. Have fun. That's your choices.
I guess
we open it up to contenders, maybe. Too hard. Okay, fair enough.
We're only doing We're only doing American players now. We're building a new team USA, guys. I think mine is like the Western super team of like English speaking Western players. But then, like, if you minus Leave and maybe put Kevster there, it would be like, it'd be like
first
your
pick Kevster, probably, right? Is there anybody else you really?
Yeah, it'd be Kevster, Kai.
Yeah, probably.
Either Super or Space, and then OG Ultraviolet, probably.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's interesting. I got 3 out of the Atlanta players.
Yeah,
it does really go to show that Atlanta has some major firepower on their team.
Oh, for sure, without a doubt. That's a scary team,
and people will underrate Atlanta again, even though I think their firepower is pretty high.
Yeah, for sure,
100%. Oh, that was a fun question. And again,
people will underrate Gator and Hawk again, even though they've proven themselves. Doesn't matter what Gator and Hawk do, and you know, people always want to keep underrating them no matter what. So that was good. That was lots of fun. I think my roster won both times, but you know, that's just me.
I think you definitely won the second one for sure. First one, not too sure, but yeah.
You had a pretty good one on the first one. Joe was okay, but then he kind of boomed it with Faith in there. I'm not too sure, but other than that, it was good.
Yeah, that was. I kind of was blanking on main support, so I was like, "Bro, you need a main support," and I'm like, "I can't think of anybody." So I was like, "Hey, there's Faith." I'm like, "Yeah, that'd be kind of funny."
That'd be kind of funny.
Second one was more for the brand, you know.
I just went for the W straight. I'm like, if I build a fantasy roster, I'm collecting points. How do I get a dub? That's what I went for. All right, what was next on the agenda? That was great.
So yeah, that was Ashador's question. Thank you so much. Hopefully that got to the bottom of that. Cross that out. We could do this one. JR Smithsonian asks us, or rather you guys, to make a Dragon Buster team. What are some of the dream rosters in the Ball Zen Songdo dive?
Can I use any of my dream rosters that I just did?
I mean, probably.
I had no Dragons members on any of my 2 rosters.
No, I don't think so.
I would have taken Lee Jae Gon, but you know, I used to call him. So
I think if I was to create that team, I would probably try to get Gabby and have her shoot Lip. That's pretty much what you have to do.
You're so stupid.
I think Lip would be invisible and you don't see him until he just randomly EMPs you and you lose a fight.
How is that not a Titan power, by the way? How is there not like an invisibility Titan? Yeah. Seems like such an easy power.
Now all the people who skipped past the AOT talk because like finally I'm not gonna get spoiled.
Yeah.
All the way down here, and then you guys are talking about AOT like fuck, and then
the thing is like how sensical is it to have a 15-meter 2-ton Titan that's invisible but goes like your cabinet is just going like if you run if he runs by like I'm invisible. Okay, I didn't notice you were there. Like, come on.
This was such an easy softball joke to just shit on Peak, and you absolutely whiffed it. Like, oh, there already is one. Peak exists.
Yeah, she's pretty invisible as a Titan. Yeah.
Regardless.
Dragon Buster team, meaning
Yes.
I can just make any dream team to be a Dragon Buster team. It wouldn't be that hard, and I think Soul nearly made one. And on paper, you could even proclaim that maybe Gladiators have one. Maybe. Depends if all their pieces work the way their potential.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a heavy flex tank meta, meaning that the one tank player basically only has to play the traditional flex tank heroes, then you're playing Space over Rhina.
Probably.
Any combination of their supports is good. Any combination of their DPS is good, assuming both Arns and Patapan play up to potential. We already know Kifst is there, so that doesn't need to be said. I would say that there already are Dragon Buster teams on the table. I jokingly said before we started recording, oh, Dragon Buster team? Yeah, just put Jonak back on Soul, done.
But I mean, are you that far off, though?
Probably not. And I think that's the joke, is like, if you had Soul with Jonak or an equivalent player, then that is in and of itself like a Dragon Buster team right there. I think there's, if I was going to make a full dream team, I would just take some of these rosters and just simply input best in slot players and just see how we go. Yep. So, for example, let's just talk about my fantasy team that we just built for fun just then. What I have again, I had proper Smurf, and then who are my supports again? I had shit, I actually forgot. Shu and Chorong.
Oh, Chorong, right. Yep.
Funny, that's true. You're funny. No, it was a Korean team. So funny, after it wouldn't probably have fit on there. He'd be on there for like a Western team though. Yeah, which so for that roster, instead of that, I'd probably I can't take Lee Jae-gong, he's on that team. So yeah, I'm probably okay with Chorong. And then flex support. I mean, there's a few options there. I mean, Shu, I wouldn't be upset with Violet or Twilight, and I wouldn't be upset with who else? Even Fielder, I'd take, I'd be pretty happy with that. Tank could be either Smurf or Hum. I'd probably have both. I'd probably have a team where, let's just say I can actually build an 8-man roster, right? I'd have Smurf Hanbin, Chorong, Shu, Fielder. I think Fielder's got I respect that Fielder has this like real pop-off Moira as well. So I want if I've got to have 2 flex support, I don't want them just to be like both good at one hero. I want to have some flexibility and like, okay, but this flex support has this and this flex support has more of that. Yeah. So I'm gonna go for 2 flex support players that have a little bit of a difference. So I go Fielder, Shu, and then I got 2 tanks, 3 supports, no dragons players. I got proper, and then I got 2 more. So, and then I want 1 hard hit scan, and then another. Maybe I should get 2 hit scans. But no, I don't, because proper's gonna be my hit scan. So I get another flex DPS player, and then I get a hard hit scan. Fuck, and I get Pelican. I take Pelican. I take Pelican proper duo. Why not?
Okay.
And then my hard hit scan is Fitz. Fitz proper, Pelican, Smurf, Hanbin, Shu, Fielder, Chorong. There's my Dragon Buster team. And I actually think that team, on paper, assuming they don't mental boom and they all like each other and they all work together and they don't have a shit coach that mental booms him or just makes bad decisions, assuming it all goes swimmingly, on paper, that team is more powerful than Shanghai's roster currently.
Yes,
in my opinion. Not in every position. I still think Lee Jae-gong's better than all 3 of the sports I chose, but you know, you can't win them all. You can't win them all.
So I kind of approach it from the position of like, okay, so I probably wouldn't just look at the players, but also like which coach is available to do that task. right?
Okay.
So who beats Moon? Well, the only other one you can mention is Krusty.
You take Rush.
No,
you
I
don't
take
take Rush.
Krusty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even though you would say like Rush has been way better in most recent years than, but I think you still gotta give it to Krusty, right? But I respect Rush as well.
I choose packing 10.
I think, theoretically speaking, starting from the Dallas Fuel lineup, though, is probably not a bad idea. And it probably would be a marriage of Dallas Fuel and San Francisco Shock in some way.
Okay.
So I would, like, if I get to choose, then for some reason Violet is in peak form and he really loves playing flex support and goes on his crazy grinds again and doesn't just, like, off-roll the entire time when playing ranked.
Sure.
Then I pick him over Fiddler every time. Of course, like, they're on the main support role. Yeah, I would probably try to go like Chirong. That seems reasonable. Even though Astro, it's hard to say he's a more proven commodity because he hasn't played much last year, right? So 1A, 1B for me.
This time language does matter. I'll just put that out there.
Right. Okay.
Because we're talking about a real team. We're talking about a real team that could.
Right. Then I would go Chirong necessarily. So it's Chirong, Violet, Hanbin. Hanbin, Fearless. And then DPS, proper. I think Sparkle does some special shit that probably like if you actually catch a Doom meta or whatever, I don't think anyone really stands a chance that's left in the Overwatch League. I think he would just like absolutely crush. So that's probably Sparkle. Could Pelican do it? Maybe.
Could Pelican do it?
So Sparkle, I definitely need some monster. It's hard, man.
You're missing a hit scan.
Yeah.
Outside of proper just playing everything, you're missing a dedicated hit scan.
See, like the gamble on Ants is kind of. Maybe I need
version of Ants do you get?
Yeah, maybe I need peak Ants in order to have a chance against dragons. So like,
you think?
Yeah, I think so.
You need like a superstar, world-beating, never before seen to beat the dragons.
Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, Leb is just going to clap those cheeks.
In ways, yeah, I get that.
I think like if I don't think I'm not sure if there's another Korean-speaking hard hit scan that I would trust to be able to match Lip.
What are you saying, Yiska? You're not going to take Decay? What's wrong with you?
That's the thing. Like, not even in this hypothetical scenario where I can say Violet is not the perfect human being, can I justify saying Decay is not going to be a problem. So, but Decay is...
I forgot. What you do is you take Decay, force Moon to put him on their team, and then they'll mental boom from the inside and you'll win.
There you go. 5D.
Yeah.
You take him as a secret agent, put him on the other team.
So, okay, so Sparkle, Ants, and then probably the proper. Oh yeah, of course proper. Why did I think? Yeah, of course proper.
You what do you mean? You said proper already. You picked him first.
Yeah, okay.
I think he's going down his list then.
Right.
Okay.
And then I pick Karif and Agilities because those are the only ones that could sit on the bench better than Who Are You and Bebe.
How many did you get? You 7 or 8?
I think 7. 7 with double up on main tank with Hanbin and Fearless.
So you have 3 DPS?
Yeah.
Oh, it's 8 then. Wait, sorry, it's 8.
I did 3 DPS, 2 tank, 3
No,
support.
it's 7. I'm dumb. It's 7. Yeah. I didn't double pick like, yeah, I guess I could get another flex support. If I was to double up flex support, I would of course pick Shu, Violet, and then Chorong as main.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now there is a second part to the question. JR Smithsonian also asks, what about a Dream Goats roster? Not allowed to name the 2019 Shock or Runaway / Titans players. Anybody? You know, we're going back in time. We're cracking open the time capsule. Just the whole team. You think now? I'm gonna jump in front of this.
Animal.
I'm gonna jump in front of this bullet. Yes, they did perform very well in playoffs, but is that the team that you want to play Goats?
They were good in Goats. They were the best third best team in Goats.
Who was the third best team in Goats?
NYXL.
Oh. Yeah. Up until Nene did the Nene grab, they were definitely, yeah. And I think after that moment, they never came back.
Yeah. I guess I would replace Nene though. Like,
you're
generally.
Oh, there's definitely replaceable parts, right?
Yeah.
Who would you replace?
Animo and Nene would probably be out of here.
Okay. Or who?
Animo was fine.
Who was on Spark at the time? IDK.
Who was on Spark? IDK, yeah.
And who was the off tank?
Would have been.
They had Sashin.
Yeah.
And I always forget, is Rhea a main tank or not? He's an off tank. Yeah, Rhea.
Was it Rhea?
Yeah.
Nah,
Rhea.
that's not inspiring. I need a good off tank.
Did Godsby play Zarya, I believe, if memory serves? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
You want Hotba. Just admit you want Hotba.
Who's the third best Zarya in the Overwatch League in Season 2?
Kalios.
Third best Zarya.
I've deleted Season 2 from my mind.
This one's a hard one.
Let me look at
about Goats. I really just don't want to think about Goats anymore, so I've just completely eliminated Goats from my mind.
Does the Overwatch League website have the capacity to display the standings from 2019? I didn't think so.
No.
Just go to Liquipedia. Why are you making this hard on yourself?
Yeah, let's see.
Who else was good?
Go to VLR.gg and you'll know everything you need to know.
Yeah, right.
Regular season.
Hydration, Decay.
Pick RCK. He was the next best Zarya.
Decay, though.
Yeah, no, you're onto something there. That's for sure.
Decay, though.
Not mad at that. So who would you take at main support then? If we're taking like the NYXL core.
I'm stupid. I'm a dumbass. I'm picking Fury. I think Furying that is just like, yeah. I guess not. Wait, no, we already said. Wait, I'm misaligning. Who was the off? Oh, Meko, right? Yeah, I think I. Would I? No, I think the Meko Mano thing worked too good. Yeah, I wouldn't. I think it's just these two. Then I'm probably like, but even then, like, Oh, bro, I'm sitting on this whole podcast thinking like, what's the third best Zarya? I'm picking Prophet, man.
Oh, true. Yeah, not wrong.
Yeah, that's it.
Very on brand. Who do you take main support? Did you give a main support?
You said Animo.
No, Animo.
He does not want Animo.
Not Animo, dude. Who was around back then?
Quite a few people.
Just take Neptuno.
For the memes.
You want Boink? Take Boink.
Ooh, the statistical outlier himself. Yes, his favorite.
Hell no.
Right next to Grego. I could say Grego and Boink. They're just like 1A, 1B.
I guess IDK is a choice.
I'd say so.
Your Void is... no, well.
Void at main support?
No. Earlier.
Yeah, I know.
It's hard. It's hard.
This would be your Lucio player for those
Yes.
having a hard time.
It's IDK, I think. It has to be IDK.
All right.
It's a weird one, but yeah.
Any Dream Ghost rosters that kind of stick out, or have we just jettisoned this memory?
Here we go. I'm going for more of an unconventional team. So bear with me.
I like it.
This one's a little bit out of left field, so I hope you're ready for this one. I'm gonna start the roster with Darko.
Oh my god!
I think you need a good tank player. My next player that I want, I think, is going to be Decay. So
I know where this is going.
You could. But the thing is, Decay is also kind of a DPS, so I want to make sure that the second tank player is going to be there. So my third player is Envy. So I think that's the core. Darko, Decay, Envy is my core. Right. I need another DPS player to really round this out.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Taimu. I think that would be really good on this team. I think Taimu, Decay could work together. This team is missing I think this team needs a little bit of French, though, to really group together. So I'm going to go Unco for my first support.
Okay.
And then for my second support, to back Unco up, in the holy trinity of just like love and peace, I'm going Aim God. Sort of Aim God, Unco support. And then if I'm allowed to, I know I'm cheating a little bit here, guys, but if I'm really allowed to, my seventh player, I'm going to take Striker.
And what's the team called? Can we give it a name?
Wait, no.
Okay.
And then this team is coached by Huck. Only Huck. That's my team.
There you go. It's beautiful.
What do you guys think?
I think the Washington
what did you say?
From Wins? I was thinking he was going to go main support.
Wins will be my assistant coach.
Right, there we go. Nice.
Yep.
Well, JR Smithsonian.
Who's your peripheral sponsor?
My what?
Peripheral sponsor?
Peripheral sponsor.
Yeah.
Kevlar? I think, you know what? We're going to go through a lot of them. So I'm just going to say Microsoft. Just like the basic Microsoft. Like you can just buy fucking stacks of like thousands of them. We're going to need them. We're going to need them.
Yep. Gonna go through them.
I'm also going to need a garbage disposal sponsor as well. Just to keep the loop going, because there's going to be a lot of garbage disposal. Like, that's not like some secret talk. It's just like I'm talking like actual things, like things you will be putting into a bin to dispose of through a garbage disposal company. I'm going to need one of those.
For sure. Maybe a drywall sponsor.
You would also never be hurting for other sponsors because you know Dana White is knocking on your door trying to get a deal with you.
Brings the Contender Series a whole new
I like
name.
that like after two plays, like, oh, I know where this is going.
Yeah, that was too on the nose.
Oh, I know where this is going.
All right, JR. Hopefully we answered that question. I
think Darko will be fine. Like, the specific players that he hated aren't on this team, so
true.
So you know that going from.
We got one more in us. This one could take a minute. How are we feeling on time?
Sure. No, we're under 2 hours. Let's go.
All right. So this one comes from Peace Camper, friend of the show. Get off the fence. Could tactical timeouts and or substitutions during a map work out in Overwatch esports? Every team hypothetically gets one tactical timeout of 1 minute per round, which can be used outside of fights, and in which the coach can make tactical adjustments or even sub out a player. Also, you can sub out in between rounds. Obviously, this would be an esports only thing that can't be done on ladder, especially in Overwatch 2 with only one tank. This could make things a little bit more interesting when teams can use aggressive tank players on attack and more passive/defensive players on defense. AVRL, we'll go with you.
Explain the rules to me one more time.
So
when can I do this and how many times?
You tactical timeouts during a map. Every team gets one tactical timeout of 1 minute per round. You can sub in a player / give coaching advice. Can only be used outside of fights. So in the lull that is Overwatch.
Okay, so here's a couple. So the question is, what do I think about this? Right? Is that how
it work? What do you think? Unpack it.
Okay, so it won't work, and the reason for that is because first of all, like, how do you have to very clearly define what a fight is, and that gets really ambiguous because even while you're resetting, people can be getting aggressive and things can happen. Like my goal then would be like, I'll just get in your face. Like I will never put you in a situation. If I'm winning, I will never put you in a situation where you could say, oh, it's not a fight, because I'll be constantly forcing the fight. I'm gonna keep shooting you. I'm gonna be spawn camping you. You're never gonna have a position where it's not a fight. So that in and of itself just doesn't work because you can't define. It's too hard to define what is and isn't a fight. Right? You're getting too much gray area there. The problem with Overwatch as an esport, in terms not overall, I don't think what I'm about to say is an actual problem of Overwatch as an esport. I think it's a problem if you're trying to introduce timeouts, is that you don't have specific time between, like, you don't have the specific downtime like you do in games like Counter-Strike and Valiant, where it's between rounds. What you have in Overwatch is we are swapping sides. I was the attack, now I'm the defense. That is the only time where you're actually like not in game, right? That's the time that if we wanted to make the argument of like, can we use that for a timeout? Then I would say maybe that could work. That is the only time, that in between maps is the only time that I would say it's actually possible. Because any other time doesn't make sense. If the game has started, having to just pause doesn't make sense. Unless it's a technical issue, that's different. But pausing for timeout, like, I could be strategic as fuck, because I just said, like, you know, it's hard to define when it's not a fight, right? So, you know, obviously you don't want someone pausing in the middle of a fight. But even outside of fights, the game is so momentum based and it's so fast, and part of the skill of Overwatch is being able to react and do things quickly on the fly. Pausing the game for any reason, even a technical pause, really ruins that. And so, you know, even technical pauses honestly have competitive integrity issues. But at the same time, it's a tech pause, and you could argue that the opposite way has competitive integrity issues. Like if you don't allow a player to connect back in and you force a team to go 5v6, that's not competitive at all as well. So lesser of two evils on that one is basically how it's been handled currently. But I don't think you can realistically otherwise have pauses in Overwatch at all for any reason. It just doesn't make sense for the game. It ruins the flow of the game. It just mentally it resets people too much. It's just like, you know, it has too many other factors, intangibly other factors, and it's also bad for broadcast. You can imagine a situation where you're live in game and then attack pause comes through, and it's just like, man, we're just slowing down the game. Like, it just doesn't work. Like, in attack pauses for games like Counter-Strike and Valorant, you're already in like this like up and down, peaks and trough kind of thing where, you know, you end a round, it's naturally a break anyway, and in that break you might fit a 1 minute attack pause in. It doesn't feel as bad, and they're very limited. You have an extremely limited amount of those that you can do ever, and I think it's like once per half, so twice overall for a single team. So I don't swapping players is another issue because it takes time. If we're doing it online where the other player's already in their room with the computer turned on and they're jumping into lobby, that's one thing. But if you're doing it live on stage, you have to disconnect all these peripherals, you have to reset the computer, you have to load up the new guy's account, you have to look all the settings, you have to do all this bullshit. And it gets worse than that. Like, some players want their layout in a specific way. I don't know if it was Gamsu or somebody, used to walk up on stage with a tape ruler because he needed his keyboard to be specifically X amount of centimeters away from the screen. And it sounds ridiculous, but for some, you know, I respect it too, because, you know, you want to have consistency in how your layout looks. You know, you have to be sitting at exact this distance away. You know, the monitor has to be placed exactly that far. Your keyboard has to be at exactly this angle. The height of your seat needs to be this far as well, because you're looking for specific, you know, things that you can control, that you can have in terms of consistency, so that you have the same experience and can give the same output. It does get to that level of crunchiness and pedanticness for some pros, because they want to make sure that they have everything going for them that they can be going for them, and that's fine. But it means that things are slowed down. So simply changing a player on stage is not easy to do at all. It takes far too long if it's done in the middle of a game. Between maps, you have a natural break anyway. You go into commercials, you go into the desk. It is what it is. You have plenty of time to do that. But while the game is live, hell fucking no.
So if you had to see timeouts come in, you'd probably want it like Apex style, where it was like in between maps, or I mean,
well, if it's in between, they already have that in between maps. Teams already go and talk to the coaches and all that, so that's already existing. The only addition would be you do it in between rounds.
Right.
And there's only the only in between rounds that exist in a game like Overwatch is when you swap sides. But here's the other problem, Joe. That doesn't exist on Control.
Right.
You don't swap sides. You just play through the entire map.
Yep.
Now you could argue like, okay, well, you know, Control's a best of 3, right? Maybe between the individual maps, like the map within a map, you might do it. But even then, like, I think that breaks up gameplay. That seems slow. And then what about push? Push, you're not going to do that. Like you're going to play one game of push in its entirety, and that's it, and you're done. There's no swapping at all. There's no additional maps within push. You just play the one push and you're done. So then you can't even have consistency within the game itself. So what? One map type you get 2 timeouts, and the other map type you get 0. Like, what is that? That doesn't make sense, right? So you can't. There's no consistency. So the ruling ends up having to be, well, there's just no timeouts. You just can't have any. Timeouts simply don't make sense in a game like Overwatch at all. Is my opinion.
Makes sense. Yiska? Timeouts?
So
yay or nay?
I think like the last thing Overwatch needs is more complexity. And I think already like the bans are not really workable. I think like the one way I could imagine this to work is like you do it as like a tag in system. So 7 people sit on their, or 6 people I guess now, sit on their setups. And then when a tank respawn is like in the spawn room, they can just like hand over their slot to the other guy. And that's how you would structure it.
That's complicated as fuck.
That's complicated as fuck, and also very, very like confusing for the viewer, I would imagine, in the moment. Between map sides, it's not that much though, but I don't know. I kind of like committing to, like, it's not like fights play fundamentally differently other than like wanting to drag fights out rather than like wanting to finish them, or, you know. So I don't think in effect it actually scores that big of a thing. I think people like what I actually hear out of this is like people want to understand coach decisions with very obvious tells. That's what like they want to see. So when you see a substitution, that's something like, oh, the coach wants to have impact here and there and there. And I understand that. But like adding that layer of complexity is probably not a good way to achieve it. So yeah, I don't know. Not a huge fan of it.
You know what we should do? You get your starting 5 on stage, and then a sub for each one of those players, or just however many subs you have, standing behind the respective player. And then you do you do hot seat. So as soon as a player dies, you just swap the player behind you and you just jump in. Like back in the day, you know, you're playing with your brother or something. I didn't have one, but I'm just saying other people. You're playing with your brother and you only have the one controller on your PlayStation 2. All the Zoomers like,
here we go.
PlayStation 2, what is that? I only grew up with PlayStation 6. And then you swap in and out. Like one death and you swap in with your brothers comes in and just plays on the same thing. So you just
Mom says it's my turn on the PlayStation. Quick, get off. You're grounded. Is there a way? I like where Yiska was going, like with the idea of like giving coaches or giving the community a very like obvious vector to see where coaches are coming in to have an impact. Is there something that you guys like between off maps. The top of your head?
Between maps. What's wrong with between maps?
I guess maybe how do you increase that? Is there anything like manufactured that you feel like would be a healthy increase in that?
No, I don't think you should increase it. I think it's fine as it is. I think increasing it more like kind of you're almost putting like at some level the test is, can your team play the game? The coach isn't there microing your team. It's not an RTS, guys. It's not a coach microing some fucking units on a battlefield.
Sure.
On some level, the team's got to go out there and play. The team has got to play a full game, and then they come back and torch the coach later. Like that's you know. And if they're in a game like Counter-Strike and Valiant where there is significant downtime, maybe it makes sense for a coach to have input in the middle of the game. But in a game like Overwatch, I just don't think there is that time at all. I don't think there is the opportunity to do that. Nor do I think we should create that opportunity. I don't think we need it.
Okay.
Also, by the way, nobody would use it. Like no coach would make use of that rule change. Like we're already not taking Like theoretically, if you think there's a difference in like how the game plays, and that is somehow how players play differently, you would see, like how players work in the respective environments, you would see way more substitutions between maps, right? Because maps play differently, but we don't. We value like the consistency of like building that communication and synergy is really hard in Overwatch. So like splitting effectively like practice time is probably not a good idea.
Alrighty, Peace Camper. Thank you for the very insightful question. It's definitely something that people have been interested in. Lot to unpack there. So hopefully that answered yours. Do we want to do a quick one, or do we want to wrap up and skedaddle? Up to y'all.
How many we got left?
I mean, there's plenty more left, but
I am down for a quickie. Let's go.
Quickie. All right.
Are there no more like big ones? Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh, there's plenty of big ones, but
there are?
yeah,
Okay.
it's just do you want to try to dive into one? There's a couple more lists that we probably have to schedule and make graphics for. Here's one.
Okay, well, if we need to make a graphic for it, then we can't do it today.
Yeah.
So we'll do an easier one then.
Let's do a fun one that I think we're probably gonna have to hijack and reword. But a friend of the show, Picasso, asks, MOBAs steal hero tropes from others. Overwatch is no different. Blitzcrank from League of Legends, Pudge and Dota 2, Roadhog starts giving examples, of Annie and Warlock and Ashe, and these characters that are remotely similar to one another. But he asked, when we get a Wukong / Monkey King character in Overwatch, what role will they be, and who would be the best at that play style? Who is the best player at this new hero after 1 month of release? Yiska, go ahead.
That skin already exists. By the way, Winston already has a Wukong skin.
Correct.
Just saying.
So it's a Wukong character that would like be about like
Trixie
stuff.
Brawling. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm thinking Sparkle. I don't know.
Okay.
Sounds like a
sounds one of those like a silly heroes, like Sparkle, just master the silly heroes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Jinmu for the same reason, but on the other end, Jinmu's the master of silly heroes. Sounds like a stupid hero.
Just cloning all over the place, jumping on top of stuff that you really should be able to.
Sounds like an actual clown hero, and Jinmu is the best at clown heroes.
Very true.
Alternatively, the answer is just Lip, because he's just the best at everything. Probably.
Oh, there's proper and lead.
Probably.
The thing is, like,
how's Lip probably the best at everything? He's a hitscan player that never even seen Lip play. I
want to see Lip Genji before I make that.
Yeah, like show me Lip's.
I mean, that's the reason you don't give him MVP, but he doesn't have to. That's the thing. Right, like when he had to play Tracer for 2 hours, he was instantly the best Tracer in the league.
So, for example, I think the Wukong character will be a projectile hero, because what he is he's a clown hero, right? So he throws these like cream pies at people,
Okay.
And don't get dirty about them. I'm talking about like actual pies with cream, and just you're just chucking them at people, and it's a projectile. So, show me when Lip gets good at projectile heroes. That's not called.
They also have a growing stick, right?
Say?
They also have a growing stick.
That's true, yeah.
That's per the lore.
Stick does grow. Yep. And yes, you're gonna love this one. You can helicopter the stick too.
True.
Oh.
There's lots of helicoptering in a lot of those characters.
Too.
To add a bit of layering to this question, is there like an archetype of hero that you think would work in Overwatch that you'd want to see? Anything from like another game that you're like, I think that'd be kind of interesting to see? Something from a MOBA, could be an FPS.
I would like to see. Here's a gun, because a lot of Overwatch heroes are done based on what the gun is, identity hero, right? For a lot of them. One gun idea that I think would be really cool is like in Halo. I don't know if it's in Halo Infinite. It might be. It's like this. It's like the laser cannon where the longer you stay on the. No, okay, I'll say that. I don't know if you guys know the charge rifle from Apex. So what it does, it's like a sniper, but what it is is it ramps up damage on a target and then does like a big shot on them at the end.
Yeah.
So over like 1.5 seconds, let's say, it ramps up on a target. So the idea is you have to track a target for 1.5 or 2 seconds, and it does very small damage at the start, and then it does a lot of damage at the end.
Yeah.
And so if you can successfully track the entire stage, entire 2 seconds on a target, you do really good damage. So the skill is in that you have to have the entire track, and if you don't, you don't do the good damage. That archetype of gun doesn't exist in Overwatch just yet. True. It's a very high skill gun, obviously. Like, you know, the new players are not going to fucking be able to do anything with this. So you have to be a very good player to do anything here. Maybe that doesn't work as a gun. It works as an ability. Like, you press E and it does that thing. Maybe it's better as an ability than a gun. Because it feels like in Overwatch, you want your guns to be a bit more accessible, and the abilities might be more difficult to land. So
maybe like an alternate fire or something, you know,
either
something...
an alt fire or like just an E ability or something like that.
I get that. Yiska?
But that's a cool concept that I like to see, like that type of weaponry.
For sure.
It is really hard to say. What kind of cool archetypes are there left?
Left? I mean, I'm sure there's plenty.
Really? Can you think of any like that aren't served at all in Overwatch?
I got one that'll ruin the game.
Okay.
We go into League of Legends and we take Aatrox, which is the most bullshit lifesteal champion in the game, who just doesn't fucking die because he steals 1 million HP. And then you put them into Overwatch, and so not only do you have 2 supports pocket healing and tank, but now this tank also fucking pocket heals himself for triple the healing.
Yep. It's
How
like
fun
more
is that?
busted Doomfist.
And then Blizzard have to release heroes with even more burst damage to compensate, which then ruins the entire game, because now when you're not fighting this one broken piece of shit, you're just deleting everyone else off the map.
Okay. I got one. I'm not sure if it would be cool, but it might be interesting. You ready?
Sure.
Cho'Gall.
Oh, like a 2-in-1.
A 2-in-1. So it's one hero that 2 players play.
You really want to get toxic.
Yiska really wants to bring back 6v6.
Yeah.
He's like, he just got rid of one of the players to bring one of them back. What you do? So Cho'Gall is going to be one of the tanks, and he will do both flex tank and main tank things, and it will be controlled by 2 tank players, a main tank and a flex tank player at the same time. That way we can play 6v6 again, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Or, okay, I had this idea before, actually, like where I thought, okay, so this game is super complex. What if every team had a commander type of position? So like
not like natural selection.
Yes. Oh my god, natural selection is such a good game. I was recently talking to a friend. Like we used to play natural selection 1 to ridiculous amounts, and then natural selection 2. Unfortunately, if you now go into a natural selection 2 server and you find a full one, everyone there is an actual cyborg at the game, and it's way too good.
Sounds like Quake Live.
Yeah, it's like so. But by the way, those are the developers of Subnautica. If people don't.
Oh, really? Interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah. Okay. So the basic idea is like someone has a top-down view of the map. I almost thought we would get like a hero like Athena or whatever, and then the observer client development would be facilitating such a hero. So we would just have like 5 bodies on the map, but Athena would have a top-down view, could structure your strategy and like reward it somehow. Maybe you could drop like med packs or whatever it is, or like do tactical things about it. It would be very different from everything else. But that once again, we already broke sort of with the FPS genre by including like heroes like Reinhardt or whatever, right?
Sure.
Which is much more sword and board type of gameplay. So I thought it would always be pretty cool to have like an Abathur type of character. I think Abathur probably works better than a commander. But yeah,
it's not too passive though. That kind of sucks for the esports because you have a player that's just not there.
Never
like, it just feels.
Yeah.
It's like watching Yuumi in League of Legends. It's fucking boring. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just one of the characters just invisible. It's
the problem with Yuumi is it's not dynamic at all, right? It can't switch like from top lane to bottom lane in a whim, right? Just like being aware. So like maybe you would be the Abathur character in the moment that your Tracer engages the backline. The Eminuma.
The point is, it still ends up being a 4v5, and it's just boring to watch because you know, it's just like one less player, and the impact of that fifth player is more, dare I say, intangible. It's still tangible, but it's more like it's a little bit more intangible, which makes it less interesting to the viewer.
Yeah.
So I think from that perspective, I've never liked Abathur for that reason. I think it's an interesting design, but like from a competitive standpoint, I just think it's like it almost feels anti-competitive. Like it's just not appealing and competitively.
I think there's maybe you don't have to do this as a permanent mode of playing, but maybe there's an ultimate that works like this, and it's like rather powerful for let's say 20 seconds or whatever. But yeah, like I have no idea how it works, but these are unexplored concepts that I generally enjoyed in video games. So I guess those are the ones I'm sure they've toyed around at least with the Cho'Gall idea.
Maybe.
And
Overwatch?
Let's be honest, that hero would have to suck. Like you can't design a hero like this and be a meta.
Yeah.
That would suck. But it would be fun to have a hero like Cho'Gall.
Could be interesting.
It sounds like a nightmare to balance. It sounds like a fucking nightmare because it has to be worth giving up an extra player for, so that you are playing 4v5 and two people are on the same character. So it's to be like, in theory, twice as strong as a normal character, right?
Yes.
But then you have to think about the playing experience. Like playing Cho'Gall and Heroes of the Storm, one person actually controls, the other person does some abilities. And a game like Overwatch, like I can't imagine that being fun unless you're doing it with a friend or someone you know on comms.
There's a lot of Mercy mains.
Because but the Mercy mains still have their own, like
they have autonomy.
They have their own autonomy. They can walk around and do shit. Here, it's like you're playing. It's like it's almost like Yuumi, but worse because you can't unattach yourself. You're permanently attached to somebody, and your entire existence depends on them, which is even worse than Yuumi. And if you're doing this from a solo queue perspective, like, no one fucking wants that. Who the fuck would trust some random solo queue person to be in control of your gameplay?
Maybe you would only be able to play that when queuing duo or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like it just doesn't work. There's just too many problems for the game for it to be worthwhile. Because if I'm Blizzard, I'm like, why would I have a character that just doesn't work for 90% of the game for the solo queue normal player base? You know, because most people are just solo queue.
Yeah.
But I do like exploring some sort of top-down perspective. Maybe not in like a Commander RTS style, but for example, Astra in Valorant is a very interesting concept, and I would like to see a support hero that can go top-down and place utility on the map, or just affect the map in various ways, and then activate that through first person as you move through. The majority of the gameplay still happens in first person. You're doing things in first person, but you're placing utility and doing impact from a top-down perspective in a supportive kind of way. And it's just like because it ends up being kind of a global ability, it's good, but it can't be too powerful because you're still a support hero. And I'm a big fan of having support heroes do more than just be heal bots, right? Like that's important to me. I'm looking for heroes that are not just going to heal you. And ideally, like we get into a place where supports do minimal healing and don't really need to heal that much. You can just actually support in other ways. That would be my dream Overwatch.
Much agreed. Yeah, I think support is a better definition than just healers, right? You don't want just heal bots. You want
right now you don't call supports and Overwatch supports, just call them healers. That's what they are.
Healers.
They're not in supports, they're healers. So
yep.
I don't know about any other ideas though. Like those are, I mean, sure, there's probably plenty of other ideas. Like Railgun hasn't been explored a lot, which is why it's coming through from Sojourn.
Yeah.
Sojourn, yeah. I mean, one of the
Chainsaw.
I don't want to see more melee. I don't think melee works in a game like Overwatch.
Chainsaw hero.
I would really like to not see more melee. I think another projectile that hasn't really been explored enough is like the plasma gun from Quake.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like a fast moving projectile, but it's not hit scan, and it has like a bit of a size to it, so the hitbox is a little bit more forgiving. You guys know plasma gun from Quake, right? And how it functions overall and what it looks like.
Vaguely.
Yeah, that hasn't really been explored in a game like Overwatch yet. I don't think there's any heroes that are like that. At least not in the way I'm thinking. I'd like to see a hero that has an ultimate like Jet from Valorant. Not in like you literally throw knives, not looking to carbon copy, but I'm saying I want to explore heroes that can change the way their gun works from an ultimate, like it transforms their gun. And I'm not talking about Genji pulling out a sword.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like, you know, it evolves your gun into something really fucking powerful compared to what it was originally.
So better soldier.
Well, the soldier ultimate doesn't.
It doesn't change the gun.
No, it doesn't. It's it'd be more like soldier. Soldier now fires rockets instead of fucking bullets. I don't know, something stupid like that. That's a bad example. The soldier ultimate now just only fires helix rockets out of his fucking gun.
Like it's sick.
That sounds pretty stupid, but I mean it more in the style of like, you know, I think Jet's a good example. Jet is a really good example from Valorant, and it's a pop-off type of ultimate, and maybe it gets extended by elimination. So if you get kill credit or you get assist, it extends the ultimate by a little bit. Like Bastion's ultimate is kind of that. I guess Bastion is the closest to it, but I don't mean it from like, oh, here you have a one-shot kill gun now.
Right.
That's extreme. I'm talking to like it's a powerful upgrade that can last a reasonable amount of time. That can last maybe for an entire fight. Actually, you know the character. What's the newest League of Legends champion? You guys follow League of Legends? No. The one before that.
Zeri?
Zeri. Her ultimate gives her a chain lightning ability, right? Yeah. So she normally shoots her gun. When she ults, it becomes a chain lightning, which it just modifies her base weapon and her base auto attack into something more powerful, but not like fucking crazy like Bastion ultimate, right? Yeah. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something like that.
That'd be cool. And she kind of scales with it. As long as she keeps up the buff, she gains like movement speed, and it can kind of get out of hand and absurd. And it's cool when that happens.
So it's not what I'm saying is like currently the weapon modifiers like Dragon Strike and Tank Mode, they're too hardcore for my liking. I'm looking for something that's a little bit more subtle, but is obviously much better than your base weapon,
right?
Which is Zeri's ultimate from League of Legends, right? Or maybe Jet from Valorant, that kind of style, more so than a Dragon Strike.
Okay. I like where you're headed with Jet. I think for me, I've always been enthralled with like movement. I really like the idea of like taking what Genji used to be with like the jump canceling, or maybe interacting with walls. I think would be really cool, so that you're getting another hero that maybe could be not a balance, but like something that does add a little bit of low range vertical movement. So maybe you're like jumping off a wall and you gain momentum that way, or you can like cling to a wall and you can kind of like perch or make some sort of play there. I think interacting with the map around you is always kind of interesting. Something like Wrecking Ball, I think, is always fun when you see people do the custom game modes when they're, Spider-Manning around. I think that's always cool. So I guess mine would probably be something mobility based or movement based.
And speaking of that, like movement based as well, I want to see. It'd be cool to see something where an ultimate affects your mobility, so you have some hyper mobility for a little bit. But again, not in a like disgusting way. So not like, oh, you're Tracer now, you've infinite blinks with no cooldown. That's not what I'm saying. Like, I would want something like subtle. Like for example, if we're going to use Tracer, like blink cooldown is reduced by 50% during the ultimate, right? And that might be the whole ultimate. Just something crazy like that, reduced by 70%. I'm thinking, and I would like to see a hero that is kind of movement based, but his ultimate really opens up his movement options. Like you said, maybe vertical. In a way, Mercy is kind of like that. I do, but I want it to be more dynamic than simply you fly.
Right.
Lucian is a really interesting champion in League of Legends. So what I like about him is he has a dash, but it's a very short dash. And the cooldown of the dash is reduced by the amount of hits you land on a target. And so when he's really going off, he zips around the battlefield quite quickly. And I'd like to see a hero in Overwatch that kind of has Tracer's, maybe it overlaps with Tracer a little bit, but Tracer's blinks are pretty hardcore in like how much distance you actually cover. Whereas I'm looking for something that's a little bit more of like a little hop. Right. And what it will do is it moves you just subtly enough, like hopping, like shorter than a McCree roll, right? Let's say half or 3/4 of a McCree roll. just a little bit of a skip, just a short hop, and it's just enough that it has to pull someone's crosshair off, so that you can use it to, you know, fake out your opponents and mess with their aim a little bit, because very sudden movements like that will screw with your opponent's aim in terms of them having to readjust their aim to find you again. Which is where these, like, you know, which is partially why Trace is hard to play and hit, because blinks force you to, like, you know, have to shift your crosshair and find her again, all that kind of stuff. But that to a lesser degree, but to a high quantity, sounds like an interesting concept, like a hero that's kind of has really cool mobility, but not like a wrecking ball kind of. I don't know what I'm saying with this. It's just, I'm not looking for some like a Mercy just flying around, but I'm looking for something that can do something cool on the ground. Like a loose skin from League of Legends. If we're gonna be looking at MOBAs, like actually look at MOBAs and take some of the cool shit from there.
No, I agree, 100%.
Yeah.
Hopefully that answered your question, Picasso. I know we kind of took it a little off the rails, but Monkey King has been crowned. I believe Jinmu and Sparkle, the boys' picks.
Hey, if you're gonna have a Wukong player, it's got to be a Chinese player, one of them. So
fair enough.
True. The master Chinese silly hero specialist is Jinmu.
Without a doubt. So that is Get Off the Fence for this week. If you have any questions, again, head on over to patreon.com/tacticalcrouch. And yeah, any level of patronage, you can come in our Discord, drop a question, and we will eventually ask it on the show. Back to you, AVRL.
Well, not much more. I think that's a good episode. Again, thank you, Yiska, for filling out all the bits in the middle and preventing this from just being a 1 hour podcast. I really enjoyed making the dream team and the snake draft as well. Thank you so much for giving me first pick, and thank you so much for both of you for missing fantastic picks. Just don't know how you even
happy to help
skip those. Poor Ultraviolet, man. Can imagine Yiska missing Ultraviolet.
Very true.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll get some cool stuff next week.
Ideally.
Some new news. New news would be nice. I had a good week, though. I can't even talk about why I had a good week, but I had a good week.
Good weeks are good.
Yeah, you like seeing good weeks, guys. You like seeing good
Everyone
weeks.
got access to Overwatch 2 Alpha. Can't talk about it.
I can't talk about it, guys.
But you're happy, right?
Here's what you don't know is I've already played the new Wukong hero.
So damn, leaked. Heard it here first, folks.
Like I said, so he throws pies made of cream at people. He's an actual clown. It's an actual clown hero, so that's what we're missing. There it is.
Nice.
It's actually Mickey Mouse. So the Disney partnerships continued.
Damn.
And people are like, oh, look at this Mickey Mouse here, but it actually is Mickey Mouse, and he throws pies at your face because he's a clown hero. He's a Mickey Mouse, but he's got like the red nose, and his move when he moves around the map, his feet squeaks because he's got clown shoes on.
Nice.
This is my Mickey Mouse hero. All right. Well, not much to say on the outro. Hope the next episode of AOT is good. Same. And hope I'm going to be playing. Crossed. Hope you guys enjoy Elden Ring this week.
Yes.
And we'll catch up on that next week. 216. Be ready for it. Thank you so much for joining us. Love y'all. Peace out. Be good to each other. Goodbye.